What is up, motherfuckers and party people? How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a great fucking day. We're about to go racing. I gotta pee though.
Separate the top two. 1 lap to go. Presented by Credit One Bank. Kyle Larson has never won a road course race in the Xfinity Series. Can he change that statistic today? AJ Allmendinger.
What is up, Jaden? How's it going? We're about to go green here soon. We're about to have ceremony soon. They're showing yesterday's race. What's up, Next Gen Crash Dummy? How's it going?
And today, Kyle Larson will go for the first weekend sweep at the Glen in 7 years. The rain pushing through when we come back. Three-way ceremonies here from Watkins, Glen.
There are those of us who burn our calluses.
Teams will be allowed to change to wet tires after the national anthem. Because it is raining now.
Build their world from scratch. They have a special set of tools. Northern Tools and Problem Solvers Paradise. There's nothing we can't find, fix, or figure out together. We're made for this. Start solving your projects today at northerntool.com.
As a Main Street bank, PNC has helped over 7 million kids develop their passion for learning through our Grow Up Great initiative. And now, we're providing billions of dollars for affordable home lending programs as part of $88 billion to support underserved communities.
Hello and good afternoon, Sam. How's it going, Matt?
Businesses in low and moderate income areas. So everyone
Jaden, you still haven't posted your pics.
PNC Bank. See how we can make a difference for you.
Back at Watkins, Glen, the rain is continuing here, but the good news is the lightning has moved out of the area. NASCAR has said the command to crank the engines will come at 4:08, so in about 10 minutes, we will have the command. You see drivers walking out to their cars right now. This race should start in the rain, which is going to make it a crazy day here at the Glen. We'll start in the rain. Maybe we'll finish it as well. Time for the pre-race ceremonies. It's rainy, but we're going racing.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise as you are able and remove your hats as the New York State Police present our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome from Genesee County Christian School, Mike Smith.
Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to be here together, and we thank you that you are worthy of praise. You are majestic and glorious. Thank you for this great day that you've given us to race today. Thank you, Jesus, for our salvation and freedom. We pray today for our military. We ask for your guidance over them, for our police. We also ask you to be with the drivers, the race crew, and the safety crew. And we thank you for opportunities like this. In Jesus' name, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome local performing artist Anna Hurt, accompanied by signer from Buffalo, New York, Rebecca Kasha.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. So we're gonna get the command at 4:08, and then we're gonna go. They are gonna change to wet weather tires before. Obviously, I mean, it'd be a very dumb idea not to.
Hitting the road, not all 5G networks are created equal. T-Mobile covers more highway miles with 5G than Verizon. T-Mobile has more 5G bars in more places than anyone. Another reason T-Mobile is the leader in 5G.
For tires, I only trust Goodyear.
Hey, you're Thunder.
So I wear
The lightning delay policy is so dumb. I agree with the lightning delay policy, but I just think it needs to be like a smaller radius. It's like 8 miles. 8 miles? I think that's dumb. I feel like it should be like 5 miles. You know?
That the regular season is coming to an end. That now is the time
I mean, no one wants to get struck by lightning.
playoff spot or surrender.
76 degrees in Watkins, Glen.
Set, go.
Come on, Wyatt. If you drop a flag, you're a snake. Oh my god.
No good.
That was a smidge intentional.
There's a snake is Wyatt at this moment in my mind.
As long as we see no more lightning, though, we should be good to run a full race today because we can race in the rain. That's not a big deal. We can definitely do that. And the sundown is at like 8, I think. 7:50, 8. You're excited for rain racing? Me too. Usually, like, I've kind of had a different opinion on rain racing, but I'm just excited to see it for the next gen car, how that's going to go. Like, I think, yeah, I enjoy the chaos of rain racing, but, like, really, if you think about it, like, it's not the best scenario for, like, racing, you know? Like, yeah, it's fun, chaotic. But, like, really, like, if you want to see, like, a good competitive race, it's not, you're not going to see that in the rain.
You want a warranty? I'll get you a warranty. On almost any machine, new or used, we sell. I want your machine to help you get the job done right, so you can get home at night safe to see your family.
Thanks, Clarky.
Thank you, kids.
But rain expected for the next 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours, yeah.
That's who I am. That's who I care about.
Probably not going to see all the race today yet because Abu Dhabi Sports is fucking stupid.
2 races left in the regular season. Watkins, Glen, and yes, it is raining, and yes, they are going to start this race on the rain tires today. They've moved command back just a minute to give teams time to put the rain tires on. And what a game changer this is going to be this afternoon with all the playoff implications on the line. Certainly for Martin Truex Jr. and Ryan Blaney and his team. Boy, you got to be wondering, if you're on the outside of the playoffs like Truex, you got to be wondering what is going to happen this afternoon.
So yeah, they're changing those tires real quick.
At Watkins,
Putting the rain tires on.
You got to be going, what am I going to do? Going into turn.
No, don't use the Air Titans. Don't try to drive the track at all, bro. Keep this shit fun.
In the rain.
If we're gonna do this, let's go all out.
Listen, this was a wild card race. Now it's an insane card race for these guys. I don't think they, we heard Kevin Harvick talk about it. We've not driven this car in the rain. We don't know about visibility. Forget the tires, forget the rain tires, forget what this car will react like to the rain. But what about the drivers in the cars? What about the drivers in the cars and what they see out the side, what they see out the front, what they can see out the back of these cars? This is where it's going to be interesting to see how quickly they adapt. These are some of the greatest drivers in the world. We've got guys from 7 different countries. We've already said that.
Absolutely.
Plus the best that NASCAR has to throw.
This is going to be an absolute shit show.
These guys are going to have to absolutely adapt on the fly.
Are you frantically changing your fantasy lineup, DJ, over there?
I don't even know what y'all said. So, yes, but as I got in here, I'm more confused than whenever I start. I think I'm just going to leave it alone.
Jaden's got Michael McDowell winning today. I like that.
It's going to be so exciting and just something else that we throw into the mix to be a cup driver this day and time.
Well, Parker, you're a driver. You've driven in the rain. You got a couple drivers you have your eye on with the rain here, at least early in the race?
Yeah, I need the road course racers, guys who have won on the dry, or I've just been in the wet ever, right? I think that's a key point here. But, guys, I want to talk a little bit about tires for a second. You mentioned the wet tires that are going on these race cars. This is a new wet tire that's been designed for the next-gen car. But I want to talk about slicks, sort of what you'd see right here, why you can't run a slick on a wet course. Look at water. Just runs right over it. If you were on the track with this tire, it would just aquaplane over the racetrack. You'd never have any grip with the water that runs on it. Now, we've got the wet tire. This tire is new for the next-gen car, as I mentioned, different than last year's tire that we had before, where it was larger blocks. Now it's more like a road car. You can see as the water runs over it, it kind of finds itself in these crevices, in these areas. That's where the water can get escape and get flushed out from the tire, so these blocks can basically connect with the racetrack. That is how a wet tire works. And these drivers will be depending on those blocks and being able to shove that water away to be able to get the grip out there. And one thing I've heard about this tire is it actually allows it to run even when it gets a little drier. So if this becomes intermittent rain, you might be able to run on this tire longer than you would on the old one.
Oh, Parker, you wish you had a fire suit on.
Come on, Parker. Somebody should have got you, man. They should have grabbed you.
So teams will start on the rain tires. After that, it is up to them to determine their tire strategy from there. The race will also start single file. Oh, man, with playoff implications, DJ, are there a couple of drivers you think this has really handed them an opportunity?
The race is, I don't like that. I don't like the race starting single file. You got to have the race start too wide no matter what. If you want to switch to single file restarts, fine, go ahead. But, like, you got to start the race.
That he could compete for the win here this afternoon.
Listen, I look at Cindric, I look at Suarez.
You're watching my live stream from Watkins, Glen.
All the way back to Kimi Räikkönen.
I'm watching my live stream from Syracuse.
I mean, these guys that have no experience in this car have experience in wet weather.
And another driver, don't forget about Justin Haley.
Yes,
that he
exactly
back in the Xfinity Series. I think he could be a part of this mix too.
Yes. I mean, there is no way Kimi Räikkönen could pull this off, is there? I mean, I know he has vastly more experience.
Don't doubt him.
Can I say something? I don't know if you've watched any NASCAR Cup racing in 2022, but there's always a way. There's always a way
anything can happen, bro.
And this just throws another layer into the excitement of what Watkins Glen is going to be today.
Yeah, I think you
so hot in here.
Make it more difficult for him as he's learning the car, learning everything, and learning who he's racing around, and how all this could change. And before this is over, we could have a dry racetrack and things change again.
Wow. So we're being told not only is the start of the race single file, but all the restarts would be single file as well. But Kimmy's probably going, you know what, this might work out for me. Yeah. And what worldwide news that would make if he can even run on the top 10. Finnish TV is here doing this race live. They're certainly not normally doing that, so this is big worldwide news.
Kimi Räikkönen starting 27th.
So here anyway. I mean, just the number of drivers that we have now that are in this race here today, but he obviously is the most accomplished of those.
Yeah, Kyle, what are you thinking if you're Martin Truex Jr.?
Listen, I'm worried. I am worried. I am worried because now I've won at this racetrack. I know this racetrack. You know, I'm going into this with some questions about where I am mechanically with this car right now. We haven't run good, but I felt like in my mind I could overcome that as a driver a little bit. You always feel like you can overcome a few of those things. But, you know, I look at him, I look at Ryan Blaney, I look at these guys that are on that bubble right now, and this
All right, let's get the command. Let's go.
Far-reaching implications. They can change people. It can change what Truex's season is. It can change what Blaney's. It can also change what Michael McDowell's season is. It can change these guys who haven't won a race. This is a game-changing race for somebody.
So we talked about the vision, DJ. How about for Chase Elliott? Starts up front. He'll have the best vision of everyone in the entire field, and we'll be on board with him.
Yeah, so that lap yesterday was even more important than what he thought. But the other thing that they're going to have to battle, this is a brand new rain tire. They have not run on this tire whatsoever, so they really don't know what to expect from this. So going to be interesting's not even the proper word.
So, Kyle, look at all the accolades in the field today for all of these drivers. I mean, it's incredible. The championships, the race wins. When you think about the drivers in the race this afternoon, all 36 drivers have got some serious accomplishments.
Yeah, you look at that. 8 championships, 16 Xfinity championships, a Formula One champion, 29 IMSA wins, 5 open wheel IndyCar wins, 7 countries represented. Wow. I think that just says and shows the level of competition here, but where NASCAR and Cup racing has grown to.
DJ, can we take points bet and really get anything from this today? I think this was in the dry. I'm not sure.
In the dry, that's right. Yeah, these odds could have changed quite a bit. And you think about it, there's some that you would have certainly looked at even more, like an AJ Allmendinger. That's good odds, whether it's dry or wet, but certainly in the wet, I think that becomes an even better bet.
Do we get a hall pass on our predictions for the race?
This is going to be some good TV, y'all. Did they say single file restarts? Single file restarts and single file starts. So they're starting the race single file, and then all the restarts will be single file, which, I mean, unless if it clears up, I guess. Maybe they'll, if it does clear up, but I don't think it will.
Totally different, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Dell Jr. going with this pusher out there on the limb.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And I going with Kyle Larson today. I think Hendrick Motorsports is going to be very tough this afternoon. But again, the rain.
I also want to let everyone know I did hear thunder outside my house. I don't think it'll be a big deal, but if my stream does end for any reason, it's because my power went out. So, yeah.
And now, race fans, here to say the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome NASCAR Hall of Famer and 2-time Go Bowling at the Glen champion, Rusty Wallace.
Ooh.
Joined by professional bowlers Stephanie Johnson and Anthony Simonson.
For everybody watching and listening around the world, drivers, start your engines!
You have the radar on? Good. Single file is probably a good idea. It probably is, but, I mean.
One spot on points. We're going racing in the rain at the Glen.
We love our new neighborhood.
Yeah, great schools, wonderful neighbors, so helpful.
Maybe too helpful. Well, at least Geico made bundling our home and car insurance easy.
We save so much money.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
I love the sauce, don't you? So it's not just ranch, it's got a little zing to it.
Yeah, like a dilly ranch. Don't dilly-dally with this.
Don't dilly-dally, run.
Sonic, big dill cheeseburger.
This is kind of a big deal. You know,
You might have heard of Carvana and that we sell cars online. What you probably didn't know is that we're in the business of making you happy. We believe buying a car should be something that gets you hyped up. That you should be empowered to shop when you want, where you want, wearing whatever you want. And that your new car ought to come with newfound happiness and 0 surprises. So we promise that we'll treat you right. We'll put you in control. And all of us will stop at nothing to drive you happy. We'll drive you happy at Carvana.
Hitting the road, not all 5G networks are created equal. T-Mobile covers more highway miles with 5G than Verizon. T-Mobile has more 5G bars in more places than anyone. Another reason T-Mobile is the leader in 5G.
Cracked windshield? Don't wait. Go to safelight.com.
You can schedule service in just a few clicks.
This will hopefully be exciting. I think it's going to be pretty fun.
Their car's advanced safety features, like automatic emergency braking and lane departure warning. That's why our recalibration service is state-of-the-art. We recalibrate your vehicle's camera, so you can still count on those safety features. All right, we're all finished. Don't wait. Schedule now.
Safe like repair, safe like replace.
NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Go Bowling. Go to GoBowling.com to find a center near you. Credit One Bank, a credit card company. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
Young as I'm a need. Said the only one thing is set your soul free. One is only the street where I come from. There wasn't no sleep until the work was done.
It's NASCAR Cup Series racing from Watkins, Glen to Go Bowling at the Glen. We are into our 8th decade of racing that takes place right here at Watkins, Glen. But Steve, crew chief, this is the first time we're going to see these guys race in the rain.
You don't see any severe weather alerts at this time?
Next-gen cars have done a lot this year, but the one thing they have yet to do is run in the wet condition in any sort of test, in any sort of race. The only time we've seen any laps run were in a Martinsville test where they put a little water on the racetrack. We have no idea.
Isn't going to happen to be a fun event.
I think it's going to convert to dry at some point.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to dry up eventually.
If you somehow survive the wet conditions, when do you convert over to dry? How your car handles the unknowns? The list is too long to talk about, right? It's going to be crazy.
Well, we are doing this broadcast radio style, and that means that we'll have different folks perched all the way around this racetrack. In the essence, it's going to be Sirius XM's Mike Bagley. He'll be taking care of turns 2 through 4. Then through the inner loop and the carousel, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has the call. He'll hand it off to Jeff Burton, who will take him through turn 6 and into that final turn 7 and the front stretch where Steve and I will call them to the finish line. We want to check in with our guys. Guys, I know you didn't sign up for rain weather work, but we got to be looking forward to this. And we'll start off with you. Welcome back, Mike Bagley.
Oh, I hear the smile in your voice, Rick. Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. It's all about liquid sunshine here at Watkins Glen. We got a lot of it, but we'll also have a lot of action at Watkins Glen as well. Turns 2, 3, and 4. This is where it all happens here. Now, obviously, this is in the draw. A lot of contact is possible here, a lot of tight racing, and the unexpected slip and slide potentially. Now,
where's Kyle starting? 10th today? I'll take that.
What we're going to get in the wet. That's the $64,000 question. That's the story for the S's when they leave here. It's at the backstretch and into Dale Jr.'s view.
Yeah, down that back straightaway is the fastest part of the course into a braking zone, a passing opportunity going into the bus stop. We're going to see a lot of guys argue over who has the right of way. Some guys will go through their side-by-side like we saw at the end of the Xfinity Series yesterday. The 2 leaders...
Yeah, this is the last time Kyle Busch will be using the Snickers car. He used it at Gateway earlier this year. But this will be the last time.
It's not going to work out, especially in the wet. It's going to be a big mess exiting the bus stop. Then you go into the carousel downhill to the right, really uncomfortable corner. You got to be able to get the power down, though. You got a long straightaway headed to Jeff Burton. Hey, I feel like a kid playing in the rain in Virginia, but it's not play today. It's a race here, and braking is going to be really important, especially in this rain. Getting into turn 6, tons of speed down that back straightaway. You're going to try to outbrake. All this is in the dry.
I'll be right back.
But that's in the dry. It's going to get more difficult in the wet. One thing you're going to see all day long, especially with rain, is this runoff area way to the right side of the racetrack off of turn 6. You're going to be seeing it used. It's a race, one of the racetracks that the drivers can push, find the edge of that braking zone, because if you make a mistake, there's a little bit of room to figure it out. You can get back on track.
We want to take a look at today's starting grid, brought to you by Go Bowling. Up front, Hendrick Motorsports has captured the front row with Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. Chase Elliott, he won 2 of the last 3 races here.
Yeah, their Hendrick Motorsports teammate William Byron was on the second row. He'll go to the rear. I think Michael McDowell starting row 2. A lot of road course experience. Look for him to be good. Justin Haley in row 7, another driver, has a lot of comfort. I think the rain will probably help him as well.
Joey Hand and Ross Chastain back there in row 9. A little further back, take a look at row 13, Steve. Truex Jr. and Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, playoffs on the line. You're starting next to one another, and now it's in the pouring rain. What could go wrong?
And as we look further back in the field, Eric Jones, Corey LaJoy in row 16. And even further back, you've got Aaron Almirola in row 18. What about the fact of having an F1 champion? The Iceman, Kimi Räikkönen. The 42-year-old has accomplished so much. Formula One champion back in 2007. The most F1 starts at 349. Most of all time. 21 career Formula One wins. Steve, we've talked about this with him in the field. We knew that the car was going to be a little bit more of an equalizer, but now you throw in the wet weather conditions, and this can only play really into his favor.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're all equal when it comes to experience of this car.
All right.
Rain, you see 91 in your trackhouse entry. Project 91, Justin Marks. He's really changed the kind of the game when it comes to NASCAR ownership. They've been very creative. Some of their marketing, they're doing their own sort of thing, and this adds to it, right? He came out and said he wanted the opportunity for stars like Kimi to have the opportunity to come run some NASCAR races. The first event for that Project 91 is here this weekend, but he hopes in years to come that this could be 4, 6, 8, 10 races a year where we see other stars from motorsports around the world join NASCAR in this Project 91 for Trackhouse.
NASCAR is letting these drivers get a feel for this track. They're calling them recon laps, so the drivers understand what the track conditions are going to be like, so they're going to give them an extra lap. We mentioned Kimi Räikkönen and that international flavor. Well, he's not the only one. This is for the first time ever in Cup Series history. There are 7 different countries represented. Not only Finland with Kimi Räikkönen, but England, Mexico, the Netherlands, Germany, Russia, and the USA.
Yeah, Danny, he has had a start before, but he's going to have some rain experience. Mike Rockefeller, he had won the 24-hour Le Mans and had some wet weather that year, so these drivers have experience. I don't know if it helps. It looks like this in a different car, but I think it helps, at least equalize them versus the very comfortable Cup guys.
Okay, Steve, I'm going to put you on the spot. I need you to break this race down. I know that all of your notes and everything you were thinking about was a dry racetrack. What changes now?
Well, right now, the layout of the race doesn't change. Stage 1, 20 laps. Stage 2, 20 laps. Final stage, 50 laps. This is what I got circled, though, Rick, right here. That last stage. Why? It was going to be a 2-stop race. Now, I believe in those last 50 laps, we will see dry racetrack. When I look at the radar, we're at the back 2/3 of this front that comes through. So survive the first 40. That's what I be telling my driver. Somehow keep it on track, get the fenders on it, get me into that final stage. And I think the window to go from wet tires to dry tires is going to be small, because if you time it right and you're the first one to get on dry tires, you'll have a huge advantage.
Okay, so they're starting on wet tires. NASCAR allowed them all to put the wet tires on. What's the other equipment that they will be dealing with?
Yeah, so when we talk about wet conditions, really the only required component is that rear window light. You're going to see these red flashing lights. That is purely for visibility. Every team has the option of a wiper. Most of them have them. Defoggers, rain tires. Every car has started on rain tires. Once the race starts, you can go back and forth with the conditions. The rain flaps are new, something that NASCAR has added. They hang down, look like mud flaps behind the rear tires. You start with them. I confirm with NASCAR, if you knock them off, they're not going to worry about them. They're not going to be required. You have to start with them. And then this single file.
Some heavy rain is headed towards Watkins, Glen. Oh, hell yeah.
Run a single file restart. They decided to start this race.
Looks like it's already there.
Because we saw the dirt race at Bristol once where
vision was an issue and some of the wet weather. This single file, really, in my mind, Parker, you're a man that's driven in the rain. I think single file at least takes some of the unknown or uncertainty out of at least the first corner.
No doubt, Steve. Just a small variable to remove and make it somewhat easier for these drivers to find some clear visibility, right? That's the big thing you'll be hearing from a lot of these drivers, find that visibility. But you mentioned that crossover moment that we might see later in this race when this wet weather moves out. We move to dry, and when I was going from hauler to hauler this morning in the garage, so many teams were watching that wet COTA race from a year ago. They were watching the 2020 Roval race where it started wet and went to dry, not because they wanted to remind themselves what it was like. They wanted to see those moments when drivers went to dry tires and they put on wets, what that moment looked like, what the speed difference was to remind themselves.
Flip the blizzard.
Look for that in this race. So a lot of these teams doing that homework on wet weather racing and that crossover moment you mentioned that may come later.
Yeah, Parker, Steve, you said the fact of the matter is, and we're going to start on wet weather conditions, but the possibility of this moving out and we see dry track at some point in time during this race is definitely possible. Listen in to Kyle Larson in his radio just moments ago.
Are you good to go? Do you think we can go green or no? I'm not a professional, so I can't give you a professional opinion. Or it's kind of half and half up here.
I'm not a professional.
He actually is a professional.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's talking wet weather driver professional. He'd be more comfortable if he wanted off the dirt track, was rolled in ready to go. He could say, man, I got 100 starts there, but racing in the rain, he just doesn't have a lot of experience. And you look at this car right here, I mean, overall, pretty dry. The car's sealed up pretty well. The teams also had the option of sealing the driver vent on the front of the window, which was going to prevent some of the rain from coming in. This is a great view of those red lights. Well, you kind of saw them, but you see them right there in the back window of Chase Elliott's car.
And this camera is actually...
You don't know if we should go green yet? Well, I think we should.
The windshield, that is what we'll be seeing these drivers have to deal with as well. NASCAR is telling the drivers and teams that they're going to bring them onto pit road, but the drivers are going to stay in the cars. I'm wondering if they're still wanting some positive affirmation that they're ready, or the racing surface is ready to actually start a race. I think that's the biggest question. So many of these drivers in the field have never raced in the rain. And so to say to them, hey guys, you know, get out here and run with this car. Obviously, this is a brand new car for this situation. And so many of these drivers are just like unsure. Jim.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why we're going to bring the cars down to pit road is there are a few spots on this racetrack where there's going to collect water. And one of those spots is over here in the bus stop. Pretty much the flattest part of the racetrack, and I can see, at least exiting the bus stop, there's a puddle of water that's streaming across the racetrack, a stream of water, and it's already seeing cars really having a tough time just at pace road speed, being under control in that particular area, hydroplaning a little bit with the tires. So we're going to try to get this particular part of the racetrack, water-free as best as possible, but I imagine as a driver, there's other areas that you need to be picking out where you do not want to put a tire. There's going to be other places on the racetrack where water will collect.
Yeah, Junior, I think part of this also is that this car has never raced in the rain. And at COTA last year, they sent the cars out in a torrential downpour with major puddling on the track. It created a lot of issues. So NASCAR, what they said is they get a rain race with this new car. They're going to make sure that there is no massive puddling. There is no water running across the racetrack. There's so little experience that they just can't put the drivers in that situation. They don't
Yep, cars to pit road.
All,
Come on, guys, let's just go.
It's even across the racetrack, no running water, just not enough experience for the drivers to know how to handle.
And Jeff, there's one of those problems here in turn 3, actually at the bottom of turn 2 on the inside, and also on the inside of turn 3 here in the S's, where water is starting to pond up just a little bit. That's what we had at COTA, and also at the Roval, where when you get into that, then the hydroplaning occurs. I know they love to take care of that and bring out the Toyota Tundra track drying team to address this, but there are some hot spots right now that have ponded up here.
Turn 3 is ponding, yeah, it is.
These guys talk about the rain. I think another thing that's affecting this decision is when I look at the radar, I see maybe 15 or 20 minutes most of rain. So since we know we're going into the dry, well, you know, we love the fact that we can run on a wet surface. We won't have to get the jet dryers out and dry the surface. We're going to blow the standing water off. And if it doesn't rain hard enough to continue to puddle, we can get going. But I think NASCAR sees that radar and says, you know, in 15 minutes, we're probably not going to have any heavy rain. So let's blow the puddles off and then let these guys loose. I mean, I have to agree. We want to make sure everybody, I'm great with running in the wet. And the intention is to run in the wet. But there's between the wet and you know, standing water is a major issue. And this car, puddling, definitely issues. They've run before, these drivers, and the teams have run before on a road course. We can think back just to the Roval in 2020 when there was rain on the racetrack, rain affecting how these guys were driving, and that's what we saw. We saw the craziness that it took place there, but also at Coda.
Yeah, but I think this is where the line was drawn in the sand. NASCAR did everything they could to try to get this race in, and there were some pretty big accidents with vision and visibility in this race right here. It ended up being Chase Elliott. But I think that's the one where
What'd it do, buddy?
Together with NASCAR and said, okay,
I just want them to go racing.
but we have to be able to have a little bit more confidence to at least be in control, and then that's what this is all about. So.
That's why run racing is becoming a problem. It's like, let's either just do it or don't do it. That's my thing. Either let's race in the rain or let's not fucking race in the rain. Like, it's not that hard.
Still in the cars. They've brought the pit road. They're going to get rid of some of the puddles, and we hope to see a green flag here shortly.
Well, they're letting fans design cars again.
Aliens. I know they're out there. So with Toyota's help, I designed a car to welcome them with open arms.
Cool car. I was abducted once. Oh, you're back.
Will they make contact? I don't know, but I want to believe.
What will you design? Enter for a chance to win at SponsorFire.com.
Thank you.
Meet Zach. His work-life balance is anything but balanced. But when he gets on the bike, he becomes Zen-Zach. Zen-Zach exists outside of time. His heartbeat sounds like a million drum circle. The only notification he hears is the sound of the ocean. So if you want to reach him, talk to the ocean. The ocean. And Zen-Zach rides with Geico because saving money and getting great coverage is totally chill. Geico. Savings and service for both your sides.
Get up, people, for a new Sunday tradition. Because Peacock's bringing together two great American inventions, baseball and brunch. An exclusive early bird special at the ballpark. And everyone's invited. So calling all baseball fans and families from LA to Fenway, we've got ourselves a game. MLB Sunday leadoff exclusively on Peacock. What's Peacock to a Premier League fan?
You want me to tell him?
It's exclusive live matches and so much more.
There's actually a lot more.
It's magic. From Harry Kane.
Maybe we won't rain race.
British drama from Stamford Bridge and Downton Abbey.
The British are coming.
And with a 24/7 PL channel, the Premier League never stops on Peacock. I love it. There's so much to love.
Back at Watkins, Glen, the cars have been pulled to pit road. Drivers still inside the cars. They had run a few laps, realized that there was a lot of standing water out there on the racetrack. Steve, there's so many different things that rain can affect, and it can even affect when you're inside the car.
Yeah, really, you know, the car itself is designed to be wet, but it's the radio that's my biggest concern. So right here on the left side, you can kind of see a set of hands in. He's messing with the radio harness. It looks like now the plug gets in. They're putting in really another wiring harness. So it's not wired in. They're just laying it in, zip tying it on. So definitely the 9 is having some sort of radio issue. You see Chase kind of clicking between radios. I like that the radios are in the right side of the driver because they're not in the rain area, which would be coming in. But then finally they say, well, let's try another helmet. That's all part of the system. You see the KBB helmet out. Now the normal Napa helmet in for Chase Elliott. So, you know, diagnosing some radio issues. And then right here, the 77, they're in the issue where it looks like this is a wiper issue. I'm not sure if it's not turning or turning within it. Parker?
Steve, I'm down here actually right now with the team, and basically it spun itself around is what happened. So they're actually getting a backup windshield wiper here, working at NASCAR to get that fixed and sort of looking at how they can stop it from doing that. But if it went down, it won't actually clear the water here for Mike Rockefeller. And as we know, vision super important. And just up and down pit lane, you have so many teams and you know, look at the car, look at different things in the cars, handing drivers towels to dry themselves off, or radios, maybe water that's seeped in. So just part of the situation here, dealing with wet racing. I mean,
well, let's chat with Jonathan Hassler, the crew chief for Ryan Blaney, who arguably has the most to lose here if we go racing in the rain. What are your thoughts on the track right now? What did Ryan say?
Yeah, you know, the track is definitely still a little bit wet. There's a lot of guys talking about, you know, the standing water and water near the curbs. Ryan probably was going to be there, so we'll just leave it up to NASCAR to decide when we can go racing.
So would you be cool with going racing right now?
Yeah, you know, I'd be fine, honestly, go out there and race as long as the drivers are all happy and feel like it's, you know, safe for them. Honestly, for us, it's another little wrinkle, another little opportunity for us to try and get some drivers.
You and I talked this morning. You said, man, no doubt the nerves are here. Does this make you even
You'd be
more
pissed if they
nervous
cancel.
with rain in the mix?
Yeah, you know, it's definitely a situation that I haven't had to deal with on the
Or
watch
postpone.
before, but, you know, I've been a part of it for a couple different races.
Well, I don't work tomorrow, so we're good either way.
How much of an eye will you be keeping on the 19 and kind of watching what they're doing and how well they're performing?
Yeah, you know, the goal for us, if we can't win, is to just outpace the 19 all day. So
I just hate this shit. Like, if we're gonna race in the rain, let's fucking go all
For
out.
every crew chief, it's not just Jonathan Hassler, Dave. It's nerves for everybody down here with the rain coming down here at the Glen.
Marty, that is certainly true, and Scott Graves among those whose driver Chris Buescher has been good on the road courses, and was good here this weekend. But he has this. What does he do with this, Scott?
Kind of wait and see. We know we got a little bit more rain left here for probably a good 10 or 15 minutes. It'll lighten up for us, and then it's kind of a matter of what options NASCAR has here. We know we're going to want to try to get switched over to dry tires, obviously, as soon as we can, but we just got to wait and see.
What will that transition time be like, and how hard will it be to know exactly when to go?
It's a little tough, obviously. Typically, you want to get, you know, once you start to see a dry line, a little bit of a gray line, then it's time to swap over. There's no more rain coming, so we'll look for that and see. Obviously, standing water, that makes it difficult. You got to be really careful around those parts when you don't have the rain tires on. But if you leave them on too long, the rain tires really start to melt up. You lose a lot of grip, and then it's bad on that side. So it's a tough decision, but you get it right, and you can get a good advantage.
Talk about the here and now. You took a couple of sighting laps there. Dry inside.
A little bit wet. Obviously, there's some leaks coming through the windows. Some, I think, through the roof hatch. She was saying a little bit. So there's a little bit in there, but it's not too bad. Manageable at this point. I think he said the worst part was going to be the spray. Remembering back to when we did this at Coda, it got really bad with the spray, and he said that was probably the biggest thing. And then some standing water in the area.
We'll wait. The 17 should be fast when we get going here. With a lot of unknowns, guys.
Thanks, Dave. You see the new windshield wiper being brought out for the German, Mike Rockefeller, in 77 this week. Again, one of the 7 different countries that are represented, and we are doing this race radio style once again. Always look forward to doing that. That means that we bring in Mike Bagley from SiriusXM MRN, as well as have Dale Jr. and Jeff Burton out on the course. Let's go back to these guys. Bag, we'll start with you. Bag, on what's it like in the S's right now? Or is there standing water over there?
Yes, there is. We've already had a couple of trucks come by. And matter of fact, we've got more coming through now. You see the Toyota Tundra track drying team behind me. They're trying to blow off all the excess water to try, not to dry the track, but to blow off the excess. As far as what we're expecting, we have no idea. We've never raced this car in the rain. There are certain things that you can't expect. Obviously, speeds are going to be lower, but we don't know what that rain flap that Stevie told us about earlier is going to be, what the impact, will that keep the spray down, and will
This is so stupid. Like, let's just fucking go.
Team rain race, unlike what we had at Coda and the Roval. So we're in that unknown territory right now. You do have drivers, though, that I think can take advantage of this situation. You've got some drivers that are licking their chops on pit road and in the garage right now, and then you have some that are like, please, son, please come back out. So we don't know really what to expect. They're doing the best to get the track as an acceptable condition as they possibly can. But Junior, there are just so many unknowns here with this new race car for the first time ever in the wet.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm starting to see some clearing skies over here to my right, but and we still got a pretty hard drizzle over here at the carousel. But I'm thinking like a driver, and I'm thinking about that windshield wiper. because that thing has been designed more for aero than anything else. And so I'm on the radio asking Steve or talking to Steve about how well does it function. We've never been in a situation where I've needed the windshield to be cleaned by the wiper. Does the wiper actually do the job, considering how it's been manufactured in such a way to really improve drag and aero? And so as that thing's moving across the windshield, and it's a big bulky piece, how is the air going to affect it? Is it going to allow it to do its job in the spray? Not only is it wet, it's also dirty. Will it clean the windshield? Because that windshield's going to get harder and harder to see through if that windshield wiper is not doing its job. So that's one thing I'd be concerned about in the first half of this race for sure.
Yeah, Junior, I would be really concerned about the track itself. I mean, the curves, think about that. All week long, we've talked about how these cars use the curves through the interloop where you are. Every single car on the racetrack, they use the curves. The curves are painted, and that means they're probably slicker. And on top of that, a lot of those curves have grooves cut in them to create a place where they don't really want you running under. Well, that captures water, and water sits in there. So what curves can you use? Which curves are going to hurt you? The only way to find out is to watch somebody else and see if they're using them to their benefit, or go try it. What's the problem with trying it is if it doesn't work, you're the guy that figures that out. So trying to understand how to take advantage. This is what sports are about. You have adverse conditions. Who can step up? Who can take this opportunity and turn it into a successful race? And the way to do that is go try different stuff that other people are willing to do, but there's risk involved. But that's what's going through my head as a driver. What can I do that others won't do? What can I learn, and learn it as quickly as possible, and then apply it lap after lap after lap?
Well, Jeff, what's going through my head in the booth is you said adverse conditions. You and Bagley look like you're the deadliest catch out there in the middle of the ocean. Dale Jr. looks like he's waiting for a dinner reservation. Like, what is the deal here? You two are the bus stop. The guy in the, I know one thing. If I'm taking a corner worker, I'm taking the bus stop with my man with a roof. A+. That's a good choice, Junior, for your spot.
The difference is he has a remote booth, and we are in the elements. This is Bagley and I. This is radio style. This is remote booth style. We gave Junior the easy job, man. Easy, get out here.
Look at Bagman now.
Yeah, that's what I say. Send everyone out there, see what the fuck happens.
It looks like
Don't waste any more of our time.
I'm not calling you out there, but
Well, but the camera's here.
At this point, like, we're getting close to, like, not being able to actually make this whole race in.
Uncle Baggy and the S's at Watkins Glen.
I love it. I love it. What a beautiful day at work for all of our friends around here, as well as Parker Kligerman. You're used to this rain racing, aren't you, Parker?
I am. I do love a bit of rain racing, but right now I found a way out of the rain. That's in the Trackhouse Project 91 pit box with Darren Grubb. So,
Hey.
making his first ever start in the NASCAR Cup Series, and now this rain. What is even said on the radio so far, those pace laps?
Just everything we did setting up for this weekend was just trying to manage the chaos. Everything's new to him about procedures and what's going on.
I like Darian
Did a
Grubb.
great job adapting all week long, trying to get ready for this race. This is just one more element. It's a car that we haven't raced in rain, a tire that we haven't raced in the rain, and situational track with the ponding and stuff. I think the best thing to do is just go race. I personally want to do that because he's probably got more rain experience than anybody in the entire field. So we're really looking forward to that and get going here.
I was going to ask you about that. Did he give you any indication, like, hey, I actually would like it to rain? I mean, that's with his experience level, if it rains, I would think that's an advantage some of the time.
Yeah, I think nobody wants it to, but he does feel like he would probably have an advantage on some of the competitors out there, just based on his experience in rain. But everything else is so new. I mean, it's still going to be a lot of drama going on out there, I'm sure.
Did the teammates have anything to say about the weather out there and what the conditions are, if we could get going here soon?
I haven't talked to him personally myself. Just talking to Keeney, it sounds like there is quite a bit of water ponding up in a lot of areas. But he's saying that even if the best thing is to get the tires pumping and get the track through with that.
Marty, I think it's kind of fun to see this team not only making their first start, but also having to deal with those other conditions as well.
Well, Parker, let's talk to Randall Burnett because we know Tyler Reddick is outstanding in the dry. He's won the last 2 road course races here in the Cup Series. How's your man going to be in the West?
Well, we all know Tyler likes a new challenge, so this will be fun for him for sure. We've got a little rain experience, you know, from Dakota the other year and the Robles, so everybody's kind of you know level playing ground there. So this car is going to be a little bit of a new thing for us. We don't, you know, we haven't really run in the rain with it, so we're going to figure that out. And Tyler's certainly up for the challenge.
You never know what's going to crop up, right? Tyler coming down pit road said, man, I need some Rain-X right away because inside the visor was fogging up. Is that correct?
Yeah, with his visor down, it was fogging up just a little bit, and then, you know, we don't know how well these cars are going to be sealed up and all that right now, right? Because we haven't run them in the rain yet, so he's got contacts, so he's a little timid about running his visor up, you know, so it kind of makes it a little tricky. We're going to give him some rain X for his visor, and we'll be good to go, I think. I think we'll have to run, you know, a little bit here in the wet. It looks like the weather's clearing out a little bit. There's some opening behind it, so, you know, I think we're going to have to run a little while in the wet. How long that'll be, I don't know. Man,
So you bring up that point. You're sitting comfortable here. You got 2 wins. You're in the playoffs. You're locked in. Can you imagine being the guys out right now? But you talk about how the race is going to play out. How long do you think you'll have to run in the rain? And when does that become a game of who gets on the dry tires first?
Well, I think we've certainly seen that the other year at the Roval, you know, with the Gen 6 car, the guys that got on the slicks quicker made up a lot of ground, and the guys that were a little bit more timid on it, you know, kind of gave up sometimes. So, you know, it looks like once the weather clears out of here, I think we got a good shot at it staying dry for a while. So that's promising. So I think you'll see it'll be kind of a race to get to the dries and make up as much time as you can on dries before everybody gets on them. Once it gets to that point.
You know, Dave, it's funny. I talked to Jonathan Hassel, the crew chief for Ryan Blaney, a moment ago. Currently the last spot in the playoffs. Little nerves in the 12 camp, but over here in the 8 camp, 2 wins. They're feeling good right now.
Feeling good down here in the 34 as well, Marty. Michael McDowell, he gets a win. He is in the class. Now, let me explain what's going on here. This is interim crew chief Chris Jurgis. The normal crew chief, if I can call Blake Harris normal, right? He is at home in the command center, working by communication with the team here because he was suspended a few races ago. He's got 2 weeks left. He will rejoin at the playoffs, and they hope they're in at that point. So the interesting thing is, Chris was just telling me during COVID, you were the guy at home, and Blake was on the road, so you know the system works, right?
Absolutely right, and so thankfully we invested into that technology when COVID hit. So we had everything already set up at the shop, so it's pretty much plug and play for these scenarios to keep them in communication with the pit boss. So all that stuff's come a long way in the last 5, 10, 15 years, and we didn't have it before. So it's business as usual in the 34.
Came along at the right time. So did the weather for your driver. I'm thinking this might be advantage, Michael.
Absolutely, Michael loves the rain. He's got laps here in the rain, so he was talking about the tendencies earlier when we had the break and where the puddling happens and all that. So we're pretty excited to get going. Obviously, we got a little bit of blue sky trying to poke through. There's going to be a transition into dry at some point. We'll have to rely on Michael's experience of when to make that transition on the stickers. You know, hopefully be up there up front all day.
Just remind him he's not in a prototype.
Yeah, yeah. If he goes driving it in there like a prototype, we may be in for trouble. So obviously, this is different for everybody. No one has ran a next-gen car in the rain. There's a lot of variables with sealing the cars up, a lot of different things with radios, communication, all that we're trying to work through. Everybody's trying to work through.
Playing the game of when you go to the dry, what do you want to see on the track? What do you want to hear from your driver to kind of know when that transition point is?
Yeah, obviously the grip, you know, there's a lot of bit of elevation change at Watkins, Glen, so there's going to be a transition spot. You know, certain parts of the track are going to dry before other areas. So he's going to best know when that lap time is going to switch over the other way. I think we've seen with other races in Xfinity and a little bit of experience in Cup that you got to be on the aggressive side on going to stickers. So we just got to rely on Michael. We'll evaluate the spray that's coming off the cars. It's another indicator of how wet it is out there, and make the decision to go from there. And hopefully it'll be in our fuel windows for when we add work in the plant.
All right, guys. And if any of this wasn't to the liking of crew chief Blake Harris, he will be telling Chris immediately because from the command center, he'll give him the information.
Hello from France. Why didn't they start? They can't race in the rain. The race will be canceled. They can race in the rain in the road courses, but they're being a pussy and they're just not racing in the rain. So
To play now as these drivers are still waiting for the go-ahead to fire the engines back up. And that gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit about what's coming up on Friday on USA at 4:30. For the first time ever, Dale Jr. Download will be on USA. And the guest is Ty Gibbs. Jr., I want to bring you back in. And you had some great opportunities to chat with this young driver, the 19-year-old Ty Gibbs, your guest. Give us an overview of some of the things that you talked about.
Well, we know Ty Gibbs has made quite an impact in the sport, and with his success on the racetrack and some of the things he gets himself involved in on the racetrack, there's been it's kind of created a persona or a perception of him. But when we have a guest come on the Dale Jr. Download, it's a real opportunity to dive way deeper into who this person is and to get to know them much better. And you know, Ty's going to be in this sport for a really long time. The idea is that he's going to be successful and he's going to be around for a while. So it's a great chance for us to get to know him early and you know, continue to sort of learn about this guy and have him back several times throughout his career. But just you know, when somebody's so polarizing, you really want to get a chance to talk to him, ask him all the questions. Why'd you do this? What were you thinking here? And we get that chance on the Dale Jr. Download. It's a lot of fun.
Young, aggressive driver, again, subbing for Kurt Busch here. He'll be subbing as well at Daytona, and that's when the show will air on Friday at 4:30 in between the Xfinity Series qualifying show and the Cup Series qualifying show. And Friday, 4:30 p.m. on USA.
You just keep saying Daytona, and I was thinking that was the biggest wild card left, and here we sit Watkins playing in the rain. So I don't know how to compare the two. I can't wait to hear that. Ty's such an interesting guy. I've been around him a long time. He actually raced on the local track, so I got to see him when he was younger. I think he's done a really nice job on this 45 car. I think he has found comfort of just being who he is on the racetrack, hasn't put him in a lot of bad spots. So see the window net going up. Well, that's why the crowd is reacting. Yeah.
They see the car covers coming off, the window nets going up, and that could mean only one thing. They're going to fire these things back up, and we're going to see the cars out on track.
Wait, really?
Right, and one thing these teams and drivers might have to deal with a little bit is when you take these cars and you heat them up by running around and then stop them, one thing that happens is this fogging up of all the windows on here. So some of these teams will start blowing fans inside the race cars here as we get closer to get going to try and remove some of that condensation, that fog inside. And it's something you hope goes away once you start running. The air starts flowing. You have different fans inside the race car that can potentially help that. Defrosters potentially under the windshield. But you need to sort of get rid of this to start. So it's just one of the problems these drivers might have to deal with here right as we get going. Some of these teams trying to remove this fog that gets in the race car when you have this condensation inside, and they let them sit here and sort of get hot like that.
Hey, Parker, so help me out here. So when this rain does go away, we're going to take our wet tires off. Now we have to put the dry tires on. This area right here, the window, I'm going to circle it. Can you point to the air inlet at the top of the window? So normally that brings fresh air in. That's an opening, and it's required in these cars, well, until it rains. You're allowed to plug it. So, Parker, is that a grip or something I see right there? Because they know this has to be removed. They have a plan, it looks like, already to get this back off.
It's like a latch. You can just flip it out of there, right? So some of these teams have all different sort of designs of how they do this. They're allowed to use different thought processes for how they do this. But yeah, it's like almost a little spot you can hold this thing out for when it dries. You want to have that airflow again when there's not water on the racetrack.
Well, yeah, because I think it's going to be required. I bring that up, Marty, just because, hey, you know, when you go back to drives, that's live pit stop. You can lose spots, so you don't want to have to mess with that for extra seconds. That won't be a quick adjustment.
Yeah, that's a good point, Steve. So when you qualify well, Steve, one of the advantages is you get one of these front pit stalls as the cars crank up the engines right behind me. But the front pit stalls at Watkins Glen are downhill. Well, guess what water does? It runs downhill. Chase Elliott on the pole today, he has the #1 pit stall, so they're trying desperately to get this a little bit more dry. But look,
all right, so they fired him up.
Look at that water flowing right there, and that flows right into the exit of Chase Elliott's pit stall. So if he goes, Steve, to slick tires maybe early in the game here, I'm not sure they're going to be able to get all this dry. That's going to be a tough exit on pit road for Chase Elliott. We'll have to watch that later.
Absolutely. I'm a little concerned about our man there standing next to the electrical cord in the running water. No, these are all the things we don't know. I love the fact that NASCAR has committed, and Goodyear, because they have to be a huge partner in this to create a rain tire. But I love the fact, because if this didn't exist, okay, so the rain just stopped. I don't know what this place takes to dry, 90 minutes, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I mean, if you look at the time of day, we're closing in on 5 o'clock. If there was no rain planned, then these amazing fans that have packed this place all weekend long would be leaving, missing a race, because 2 hours, the sun's going to set around 8 o'clock. So, you know, even though we couldn't run in standing water, the sun is out now, and these guys are going to go with green flags. So this is just a huge compliment and a tip of the hat to Goodyear and NASCAR.
They ruined it. This could have been a lot of fun, but they ruined it.
And Steve, you had touched on the fact that you believe that this track will dry up to the point where they'll go to the slick. So let's listen in on the 8-team communication. I think they're already thinking about it.
How long do you run, and how long does it take for it to dry up enough to where you feel like you're comfortable getting on the slicks? The guys that were on the aggressive side of that at the Roval the other year when we went through this were the ones that beat up all the time. So you're going to have to help us with that, because you're going to be the one out there doing it, seeing it.
All right, so here's the pros and cons. There's a dry line, the tire on your right, the slicks. will outrun the rain tires by 10, 20 miles an hour, by 4 or 5 seconds a lap. Easy. The negative is, if it's dry 2/3 of the way around here and there's one wet spot in the bus stop or one wet spot in the carousel, your driver has to change his line. If you take those slicks through the wet, you are off track. There is zero traction. So, it's easy to say, oh, be aggressive, switch over. That's fun until your car's backwards into the gravel or the tire barrier. So, I like what Randall was saying. He was basically saying, listen, the radar is good. This isn't on me anymore. You, as a race car driver, have to come up with, a point where you're like, okay, I'm ready. And he kind of gave him a little nudge of, hey, earlier the better. Earlier the better. Marty.
Boy, Rick, the sun's come out here on the front stretch. So, Steve, when it rains like this, other than what's going to happen on the racetrack and road course, what's your number one concern? The electronics, right? So we saw that with Chase Elliott earlier. They went to the backup helmet. That is fine. That is now working for Chase Elliott and Alan Gustafson. But is there a problem for Christopher Bell and Adam Stevens? Listen.
I heard Adam good. Christopher was all broke up. I just wondered if something went.
There you go, Steve. So the rain always seems to play havoc with the electronics. We talked about Chase Elliott's pit stall. Got to make sure those radios are good as well.
I will say, Rick, it's easy to say now, but with the Roval being in the playoffs and the opportunity to run in the rain in the most crucial part of the season, I think some of these bigger teams are going to leave here with a list and put a little bit of effort, personnel, finance behind some of these issues we're seeing now that we know what they perhaps are.
That's teamwork right there that we're watching as they're trying pit stalls.
Dude, I'm the guy with the leaf blower because there's no chance I'm going to stay on that roller or trust you.
And they have 5 sets of tires, Steve, and that now could be a combination, correct, of wet weather tires as well as the slicks.
Well, they have 5 sets of each. Right. So, yeah, so they have 10 sets total, 5 wets, 5 dries. So,
We can use dry or wet? I don't know. I think they're going to let them decide, once we go green.
There's got to be a pot of gold at the end of that thing.
That's where Dale's called the bus stop.
That's right.
He was dry.
Right under the rainbow.
No, but so my point, okay, so let's see what these cars are running, right? So it's wet where they are down to the inside, but up by the curb, 39 race cars. They are going to create a dry line, I think, very, very quickly. I can't wait. I'm so thankful we're doing this radio style because we're going to be able to go to Bagley, go to Dale Jr. Because Dale, when I look at the bus stop, I think that's probably going to be one of the worst places to drive because, as you pointed out, it's totally flat back there.
Yeah, they've done a good job, though. There's a lot of water that's been removed. But again, with the elevation, the banking throughout the whole carousel, there's water running directly across the racetrack downhill into the interior of the racetrack. One thing you might see that will be abnormal to what we usually see at these races in the dry is guys may run offline. Now, this won't be an option everywhere because, you have to cross over the groove in certain parts of the racetrack through the S's to the bus stop. But where the cars typically run and put down a lot of rubber, when you put water on top of that, it's very slick. So a lot of guys at road course races when it rains get offline. So maybe through the carousel, you might see guys running up a lane. Maybe in other parts of the racetrack, trying to miss that bottom groove that they typically run that's kind of slicker when it's wet. So be paying attention to that. I'll be honest, I've ran in the rain in IMSA. I've not ran with this particular tire, but I was surprised, very, very surprised by the grip that the rain tire provides. You do run slower, but it's really predictable, it's forgiving, and I think these guys won't have too tough of a time really kind of coming to terms with it.
So, Dale, my one other concern as the cars go through the bus stop is we have seen a lot of guys drop a left front, right? So right here, they turn in, but as they come, I'm going to circle right here. This area right here, we have seen guys drop a left front, or even on exit, the other side, they drop a right front. What does the grass and that area look like? We've seen infields before get super muddy, and you can't get anywhere near them. If you get there, there's a great shot. Like right here, you see where it's muddy. Yep. So like right there, Dale, from your vision, or your viewpoint, excuse me, is that totally off limits now, or what does that look like?
Well, sometimes you're going to get in those areas without, by making mistakes. So, yeah, you don't want to get there, but it's going to happen. It happens in the dry. So in the wet, these guys are going to slip a tire. You're going to end up in the grass. Probably in the second half of the bus stop, you're going to see guys dropping tires. That's going to bring that mud onto the surface. And that's going to make anything straight out of the groove very, very treacherous in that particular area. That'll be dirty the entire rest of the race. When this thing dries up, that'll still be a low grip area.
So, guys, one thing about this tire, I also talked to Austin Cindric this week about the rain tire. Remember, he had those rain tires on his car in Martinsville when they wet the racetrack.
He said that this rain tire is much more of a tire that's kind of like a street tire. The old tire was made for almost racing in really high standing water. The other thing that he said was it lasted longer in the dry. So maybe not as difficult of a decision for the teams of when to go, because this tire could last a little bit longer without wearing out compared to last year's great tire.
2 races to go before the playoffs begin, and here are the playoff standings. 14 drivers locked in. Kurt Busch has a win. He is still out, though. He won't race here. He won't race at Daytona. But with that win, he's still in the playoffs. He's not in the yellow yet because he's not locked in. Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., they're fighting for points.
And we heard all this conversation between the 12 and the 19, Dave. It's really a points battle. Blaney and Truex, who can run better, and they're both crossing their fingers, hoping they don't see a new winner.
Yeah, you saw Truex there in the red, and he was reminded on these laps by crew chief James Small, we just need to avoid the carnage and be there when it's over. So be careful with what you're doing there. If we can get through all the mess that we expect may happen when the green flag is thrown, then we can worry about getting our points, possibly getting our win. He's got 2 races to do it. He's only missed 1 time in this elimination format in the playoffs, Marty.
In 20 minutes, the radar will be clear.
Ryan Blaney is the last one in the playoffs. He just told his team.
It's the same problem in Formula One.
He said, listen, I will do my best until this track dries up, but he does not have a lot of experience in the rain at all. But Jonathan Hasser has shown a willingness here in the regular season to take gambles. Parker, this could be a game of who goes to slicks first. Hasser might be that crew chief to make that call.
No doubt, Marty. And starting behind that,
It's time to go racing, bro.
F1 World Champion Kimi Räikkönen here, jumping in the deep end in his first ever NASCAR Cup Series start with limited time in one of these next-gen cars. And you may think that's a lot to take on, but this is something he's done his whole career. Back when he was 21 years old in 2001, he was signed to a full-time F1 ride. In his first start, he scored a point. He had only done 23 car races in his entire life up until that point. Some drivers go their whole career without scoring a point there. He told me yesterday, I just want to have fun, and so far we've seen him all weekend smiling. I think he's going to have a great time here as we start to get going here at Watkins Glen.
Doing something that nobody else has been able to do, and take this car and work his way around the 2.45-mile road courses. We kind of have a good vantage point of what it's going to be like here for Kevin Harvick. Thanks to Northern Tool and Equipment. We really want to welcome Northern Tool and Equipment to NASCAR, NBC Sports, as they have come on board and are helping us out with this view from Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, a little closer near the front, we have Kyle Larson in second position with the Xfinity onboard camera, and then even a better view of his teammate, also in Xfinity onboard camera, the 9 of Chase Elliott.
Mark Truex Jr. has the Toyota onboard camera. Again, looking forward to the green flag here, and there's the Coca-Cola pace cam, and this will be a little different as well, Steve.
Yeah, single file start. NASCAR has the discretion to move to single file in what conditions. They have chosen to do so here we go, single file.
We're doing radio style as the field is
All right, here we go.
all chasing after
Finally.
Chase Elliott. As we get
Green flag is in the air. We're fucking racing in the rain.
through the gears they go. Green flag is in the air. Vision, definitely something they're going to be learning quickly as they dive into turn number 1. They're 3 wide already.
Chase Elliott away with the lead, stacking up from about the 5th or the 6th position on back. Elliott now will grab that top spot. Here's Michael McDowell trying to capitalize. He's trying to ease through, grab second. Larson gets into him in turn 3. They both straighten it out. Everyone tiptoeing their way through turns 2, 3, and 4 in hot pursuit of Chase Elliott.
Look at that spray. It's difficult for everybody that's back there from 5th on back to see anything. Chase Elliott down into the bus stop. Watching everybody gingerly go through this part of the racetrack. I do not envy these drivers under these conditions. Watching them around the carousel. A lot of guys running the higher side, trying to find grip up there. Not running the traditional low line. Everybody gets through the bus stop pretty clean. Real surprising.
Why is Kyle Busch all the way back there now?
Stop to serve a penalty, he'll pull away.
And you can see right now they're all testing the braking limits. They don't want to make a mistake early, but track position does matter no matter what. So every one of these drivers navigating down that back straightaway, how much can they see? Look how much spray there is, and where is the corner? I mean, it's very difficult to see. And what is my braking limit, and how much will these rear tires stand on the gas?
Chase Elliott now with about a 3-car length advantage over Michael McDowell as he goes into turn number 1, being followed by that 5 of Kyle.
Oh, there goes AJ.
Goes to 16. AJ Allmendinger, the first to spin as he tried to test the limits just a little too much.
Couldn't tell if there was contact with the 2 of Cedric or not. He was running in the 5th position.
Still hasn't got back on track, but we are under green. Take another look at what happened.
You see right there, yeah. Cedric just basically straight. I don't know if he was in too deep in the wet and couldn't turn. But heavy oh, you see the tires locked up on the front of the 2. He's trying to slow down, just skipping across the wet pavement into the right rear quarter panel, and around goes Allmendinger. The car that serves the penalty lap before through the bus stop is Derek Almirola is in the tail end of the field with AJ. Watching everybody else come through the bus stop again. Pretty much clean so far. Everybody taking a very careful approach to the carousel. Really wide around that racetrack. The bottom through still a little bit slick from the rain. Off the jet.
Yeah, see, Chase Elliott was running offline. The other cars, the other drivers have decided to put the car on the normal.
How was the 34 in second? Qualified third. He's pretty good at these road courses.
That's trying to get into a part of the racetrack that's not slick because of oil and rubber that's on the racetrack.
McDowell now getting a little more aggressive as he tries different lines to get out of the spray of Chase Elliott, who's leading, and a big battle happening now for third. Kyle Larson under attack from Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick on the move coming out of turn number 1. He took a peek to the inside coming out of 1, and he couldn't find the real estate that he needed. And you'll notice the drivers taking different lines, setting up for and getting through the S's. They're looking for that grip. It's a 4-car breakaway. You've got Elliott in the 9, McDowell in the 34, Larson in the 5, and Reddick in the 8.
Elliott way down on the inside of the racetrack, possibly trying to stay in the water to keep those tires cool. Still continuing to lead. Really, really tiny line behind him for McDowell. Now McDowell under a little pressure to the bottom of the racetrack. Goes a 5-car. Not enough grip down there to make it work. Around the outside, Reddick trying to take a position.
And McDowell's the driver that has a ton of.
Yeah, I agree. Jaden's profile picture is boring now.
On road races. This wet condition, I think he sees it as an opportunity. You're going to see him pushing pretty hard. How far offline he was, comfort in himself, comfort knowing what he needs. Look how far out he is compared to everyone else.
Well, as this battle is up front, we showed you AJ Allmendinger spinning into turn 1. Well, he wasn't alone. Under further review, look right here. The 21 of Harrison Burton, the 7 of Corey LaJoie, both spinning into turn 1. No contact, no damage, but then we lost some track position. Now back to live action. The battle continues in this top 3. Bagman Reddick being aggressive early.
Tyler Reddick is on the move. He's just gotten the 3rd spot. He's trying to get the 2nd spot, and now he's trying to go for the lead. Here's
Michael McDowell to the lead.
Power move coming downhill into the S's. He'll go from 3rd to 1st. But not if Chase Elliott has anything to say about it. Good Ford Chevy battle for the lead going to the back straightaway.
Every corner, every lap, these drivers get braver and braver. It's really easy, I think, when you're following somebody to be the one to push harder, push harder. The guy out front really has nobody in front of him to judge also. Michael McDowell taking a few laps, build up that confidence, pushes his car into the lead. Now can Chase Elliott learn a little bit from the 38 car.
McDowell with nothing to lose, knowing if he wins this race, he can work himself into the playoffs. The sun is coming out, so this track is going to continue to dry. Watch them move around as they start looking for dry portions of this racetrack.
Michael McDowell now out in front of the field, Dave.
And looking good as Tyler Reddick takes over 2nd place there in the final corner. Michael McDowell in that yellow 34 should be no surprise that he's up front now searching for a little water for those tires. That's part of his expertise in racing in the rain. But specifically, he's raced in the rain here at Watkins Glen. You see a wiggle just a little bit there through turn 1. It was in a prototype car in the IMSA series, but he was able to understand exactly where things puddle and don't puddle, where you can get the water when you want it and when you don't. And McDowell now takes the lead in this Mustang.
Yeah, I think that, when you're wanting to find water, basically you're trying to put a little bit of temperature out of the tire. The tire's going to get really, really hot. You don't want to overheat these rain tires. So you'll run offline on the straightaways and put them in the wet where it's not dry to keep the temperature down. And get back in line for the corners. Now, somebody's missed the corner. Looks like a 5-car here.
Oh.
Kyle Larson has missed the entry to the bus stop. Partner, what you got?
Yeah, you see Justin
I'd love to
Evans,
see Michael
Irish
McDowell
Street
win
Hills
today.
on Pit Road, his window net came down. Sometimes you just don't get things latched when you're rushing there, like we had the situation for some of these teams as we came down there from the pace laps from the rain and then got back out there. If you look at this incident, Kyle Larson.
Yeah, Kyle Larson just goes straight. He has to come to a stop. He does to reduce the penalty. So, wise move to not make it worse, but such an unfortunate situation for the 31. And this, I know things like that happen, but that's super, super frustrating. He was running 8th, Rick, and seemed very comfortable in the rain. Okay, offline right there, you've heard us mention it. As these tires get a little too warm as the track dries, you're going to look for those puddles to actually cool these rain tires until you get the slicks. If you get the slicks, it'll be the opposite.
Leaders leading turn 1 downhill into the S's, and right now Michael McDowell looks in the rearview mirror. He thought he was sailing high right now, on high tide as it were, but he looks back, he's got Tyler Reddick starting to close in on him. Reddick's got some work to do, but both McDowell and Reddick are searching for the most grip they can and the wettest part of the racetrack because it's slowly starting to dry out here in the S's.
See back at the very back of the screen, 17 Busher in 4th place, having another solid run. Marty, what you got?
Junior, the driver holding on to the last playoff spot is Ryan Blaney. He started 21st. He's still in 21st. And we talked about the rain playing havoc with electronics. Listen.
Quick note, my fuel pressure is not working. It's on -10 right now, so I won't be able to say very good if it starts to drop before it runs long. I'll just have to wait and feel it. So, FYI.
There you go. So, Steve, I know that's one gauge that's gone bad inside the 12 car. I would assume for Jonathan Hassler, he's worried more might go bad inside the car. But the fuel pressure, driver not being able to read it, worry you at all?
I think you're going to be okay at this point. You're going to go off math. Now, you would hate it if you had to diagnose an issue, you won't be able to. But at this point, there's nothing you can do. 6 laps complete. Track somewhat drying right here. You start to see a dry line, Rick. I don't think it'll be long. Someone is going to make that big jump, and it's a big jump. It's a cannonball over the slicks because they will have very low grip in the wet.
Michael McDowell out front here at Watkins Glen.
This is supersonic Wi-Fi from Xfinity. It's fast. So gaming with your niece has never felt more intense.
You know, I got winning stage 1, McDowell.
Hey, what does this button do?
Welcome to the fastest internet on the largest gig speed network.
Are you crying, Uncle Ed?
No. A little.
Only from Xfinity. Unbeatable internet made to do anything, so you could do anything.
T-Mobile has 5G here, and we also cover you up here. Yep. Get free Wi-Fi now with streaming all flight long. We do coverage differently, with expanded high-speed data across the world. So you're connected here, and here, not yet. But down here, you're covered with a year of AAA roadside assistance on us. On the ground, in the air, overseas, T-Mobile has coverage beyond the expected.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive, because we only serve those who honorably serve. All ranks, all branches, and their eligible family members. Yep, that is exclusive. We're fine with that.
Churro. Let me try that. Churro. You got like 800 horsepower of cinnamon, sugar, and caramel. You got a like I'm saying it with 800 R's in it. Sonic Churro Shake. Churro. Better.
There are those of us who burn our calluses. We choose raw materials over ready-made. It takes a special kind of person to build their world from scratch. A special set of tools. Northern Tools and Problem Solvers Paradise. There's nothing we can't find, fix, or figure out together. We're made for this. Start solving your projects today at northerntool.com.
NASCAR Drive, that's your live race day companion. You can get access to high-definition in-car cameras as well as current track position, as well as pit stop data. Visit NASCAR.com/drive, where you can download the NASCAR mobile app. NASCAR Cup Series racing, it's to go bowling at the Glen already. 8 laps complete on lap number 9 of the first stage, Marty.
Track drying out quickly here. Chris Buescher came down pit road a moment ago to put on slick tires. Here's Chase Briscoe putting on slick tires as well. Steve, it's really a game and also a gamble. You can go to these slicks, but it's treacherous for the driver early on in this run.
Yeah, treacherous, and I've been kind of watching the 17. Doesn't seem to be making a lot of move, as we see on the top of the screen. The battle for the lead very tight. We'll watch Briscoe. These guys are basically running in the mid to low 82s. That is about, call it 10 to 12 seconds off what we would expect, 11 seconds off what we would expect. So I think that once you break the 80-second mark, Rick, that's when you know the track really has the grip in it. Other teams have gone now. I like the aggressive call, though.
McDowell still out front, has Tyler Reddick pounding him every single lap. Reddick and McDowell have separated themselves by 6 seconds from Chase Elliott, who's running in the 3rd position, still searching out that wet weather and that wet racetrack to keep these tires a little bit cooler as the two continue to fight for the top spot.
They come now off turn 1 downhill, continuing that run into turn 2. Michael McDowell and Tyler Reddick have broken away by now 9 seconds over Chase Elliott. This is a private battle for the lead as they climb to the clouds through turn number 3, working their way over to turn number 4. McDowell now is going to pad his lead by about 5 car lengths as they continue to look for as much grip as they possibly can.
What an impressive drive by Tyler Reddick here in the state. We know McDowell can do this stuff. We know he's a talented road racer. Super 22 car on pit road as well. But just an impressive run by Reddick, showing the talent he has. Such a versatile driver in this 8 car for RCR. Now, I think the difficult decision on when to put dries on is, number 1, how dry is the track? Number 2, how long will these tires last in these conditions? That's why they're searching around looking for wet racetrack on these straights. There's no history, no understanding of what these tires will do, Marty.
Jeff, here's the problem. Tyler Reddick actually sitting there in second in that blue and white car just said, hey, can we come put on slicks? Randall Burnett said, no, we cannot, because we are not in our fuel window right now. If you can hang on, keep those tires cool, please. We want to go about 8 more laps. So, see, that's the biggest factor for a lot of these leaders. They want to wait until that fuel window opens to make it on 2 stops today.
So 2 stops, Rick. We figure 33, 34 laps on fuel. If you come at lap 17, right before the pit road closes at the end of stage 1, it's short, 2 or 3 laps short, but you know you're going to get enough yellows, or you hope to get enough yellows to save gas. You only want to pit twice.
And we're going to see some more cars hitting pit road here as we saw the 22 of Joe Logano on pit road. His teammate Austin Cindric also coming. Ty Dillon in the 42, Bubba Wallace in the 23, all hitting pit road here.
Apparently an Arco flip happened.
And get those fast lap times, Marty.
Ryan Blaney going to come down pit road. There he is, Jonathan Hasher. We talked about it. They have the most to lose today, obviously, with these points. So they will not be in their fuel window. Just pitting here on lap 10, working lap 11, but they are going to slick tires. You got to wonder, maybe if Martin Truex Jr. and his team might counter this move as well, Dave.
And we shall see when we get a look, but the battle for the lead has been outstanding right here as Michael McDowell continues to hold off Tyler Reddick, trying to get by him in the Chevy. Truex Crew Chief James Small told me this morning that he believed that the 12 may mirror everything that they do like they did last week at Richmond Raceway. We'll see what happens next with the 19 team. They said they were coming to pit road next time to give him 4 fresh tires, and they'll probably be slicks.
Well, the reason they're going to slicks is that 17 of Buescher, the 14 of Briscoe. Briscoe, fastest car on the racetrack on slicks. So I know they were thinking about fuel windows, but right now, if you stay on these tires, you're giving up seconds a lap to the slicks. This is not just uncomfortable for the crew chiefs. This is something new as they go down the backstretch to Dale Jr.
As you look at the top 2 here, McDowell, Reddick, first and second. Look on the screen in the pylon in 3rd position. Gillen has ran all the way up into 3rd place. Teammate to Mike McDowell. Pretty impressive run for that young man as you watch the leaders go into the carousel. Still using that higher line. Gator Reddick a little bit lower, offsetting just a little bit for Arrow. Yeah, great battle. Fun to watch these guys going at it. See the 2 different lines down the straights. McDowell using a lot of mirror right there, trying to understand where Reddick is.
All clear, bud. Fit this time. Fit this time.
In this time, here they come.
So McDowell will give up the lead, and he will come to pit road to get those slicks put on. That means that the 8 of Reddick stays out, and he will go another lap, but he's now the new leader. Dave.
Been a great weekend for Michael McDowell and Front Row Motorsports. They qualified third for this race. They were behind the 2 Hendrick cars. Michael very confident in that move. They go to the slicks. They take the cover off of that vent on the top of the windshield, and they will give him Sunoco fuel to try to get into another fuel window. As talked about, this won't really put him where they want to be, but it gets them on the fast tires.
Well, they have no choice. They basically had to swap over because this guy right here, Briscoe, Chase Briscoe, one of the first cars to slicks. He, I believe, is going to cycle as the leader of the race. You see the Xfinity fastest lap at 76.97. So as he heads into turn 1 on the left side of your screen, you should see the 34 of McDowell just show up. Oh, I think McDowell's going to beat him off, but barely. There you go. That right there will be the race for the lead when everybody puts their slick tires on. Look how quick. So McDowell's trying to figure out how to get these slicks, and Briscoe's like, man, I've been out here. I got this figured out. He's going to try to attack right away.
For the lead, or eventual lead after everyone comes to pit road to make the change. McDowell still out in front of Briscoe. He was 13 seconds back when he pitted, and now he is right in front of the 34 here.
He misses the line just a little bit there. The 14 is a little wide. You see the 17 of Busher right here as well as they go through the carousel.
That's Christopher Busher, by the way, Dale.
McDowell's finding the grip of these tires, trying to put the pressure back to the 14 here, Jeff. Yeah, it's just a quick learning opportunity right here. Busher has an opportunity to go with the 14 car, knowing that he's got tires and he's had them. He knows how to push them. It's a lot of learning. You see the 24 car, he's on the bottom, wrapping around him.
Look at the congestion here on the front stretch. You see Tyler Reddick coming off of pit road, but the pack is going to go by him as he tries to get off of pit road on those slicks.
Pretty good right here.
Here comes this pack of 5 cars.
Oh, it's going to be the same thing again. Briscoe's going to be on his bumper in front of you, Bagman. Here they come now on the hill. Reddick is out front, but for how long? Here's Chase Briscoe. He's trying to find his way through, almost pushing Reddick through. McDowell almost pushing Briscoe through. And then you've got Christopher Busher there as well. Here comes Briscoe, taking a peek out of the pocket, and they're throwing blocks. They dare not get offline. Oh, look at the 8. He misses.
Oh, there goes the 8. Tyler Reddick misses the bus stop.
Here, serve that penalty. Then he'll pull away. Look at all the time he's going to lose because of that. These leaders, soon-to-be leaders, running up on some slower traffic here. Yeah, what a great battle we're watching right here. It's so much fun to learn, to watch these guys learn as quickly as they're having to. Where are the dry spots? Where are the wet spots? Pushing hard.
The transition from rain tires to slicks and how it's working out for each driver.
Verizon Frontline is built for those we all rely on. Built to prioritize first responders. Built for extreme conditions. Built for America's most reliable 5G network. Because when seconds count and lives are on the line, the people we rely on need technology they can rely on. Verizon is the #1 network choice in public safety. Verizon Frontline, the advanced network and technology for first responders.
It's the all-new Subway Series menu. 12 irresistible new subs. The most epic sandwich roster ever created.
Oh, I also figured out a way to get my iPad to stop doing that dumb shit.
It's Subway's biggest refresh yet.
Yeah, we haven't had any problems
Dad's
today.
switching doggy diet plans for
Or
Josie.
yesterday.
No, he's switching his choice cashback category to home improvement, so he earns more on a new doggy door. Extra large.
With the Bank of America customized cash rewards card, you just can't stop getting rewarded.
Pain used to keep me from what I love most. Not anymore. Blue Emu gave me my horsepower back. It's the powerful relief my joints need.
Blue Emu. It works fast and you won't stink.
Here comes McDowell, really trying to take the lead here from Briscoe.
Yes, I'm sorry, what?
He's not going to do it there.
Come on, you know I love all my chickens.
But he's fucking staying on him, bro.
Did you just fist bump?
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive because we were created for officers. But as we've evolved with the military, we've grown to serve all who've honorably served, no matter their rank or when they were in. A Marine just out of boot camp, or a petty officer from 73, and even his kids
And their kids.
USAA is made for all who honorably serve and their eligible family members. Are we still exclusive? Absolutely. And that's exactly why you should join.
There's a buzz in the air in Kansas. Maybe it's the roar of the fans or the anticipation of the playoffs as drivers fight to move on to the next round and keep their championship hopes alive in the Cup Series and the Camping World Truck Series. Maybe it's the pulse of the heartland or grills sizzling in the campgrounds. Whatever it is, it will be a memorable weekend showcasing 4 races. NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Kansas Speedway. Get your tickets today at kansasspeedway.com.
McDowell fighting back. Now it's Briscoe that's out front. He was able to pass Chase Elliott, who's on the slower tires right now. But Briscoe trying to hang on to the lead. McDowell all over his back bumper.
Michael McDowell trying to take advantage of a slip by Chase Briscoe. The problem for McDowell is that slip hasn't happened. Briscoe very fast through the S's on those slicks. Matter of fact, he's going to grab 2, now 3 Carlix in this battle for the lead.
Impressive to watch these 2 drivers find their way around this racetrack in some very, very treacherous conditions. Not much of a dry racetrack. There's one groove around this racetrack that's dry up through the S's and through the bus stop. Pretty tough for these guys. They cannot push wide like you see right here in those areas. It's an opportunity, though, for them to start learning and seeing how far they can push. You saw McDowell in that yellow car not being afraid to try to push, try to find those limits. We said it earlier, he has nothing to lose in a lock the game.
The 14 and the 34, Briscoe and McDowell leading this race purely by getting to slick tires first. Their lap times were amazing. They ran Chase Elliott down on the rain tires. That was a great strategy call. It has got these guys track position. Bottom of your screen, you see Chase Elliott, Marty. He was trying to hold on as long as he could. He's got the lap 17, but gave up the lead doing it.
These Hendrick Motorsports cars, the last one to come to pit road to take off those rain tires. And once Chase Elliott got passed on the racetrack, he plummeted through the field from the lead to 10th in 1 lap. Alan Gustafson, Steve, was trying to stretch it as far as he could, working lap 18 right here.
Is this the crash?
We can't really connect it from lap 17.
No. Oh, yeah, it is.
I don't know what could have been different about that, or you know, the way having windshields makes it kind of tough, and the glare makes it 10 times worse.
Who you saw miss the bus stop, they wanted to get to a lap, put them in their fuel window. They felt this was the lap and pull them directly down to get on those pit tires finally.
If you're broke or stuff,
This
you need to
battle
be
rages just to
off the
connect that whole
racing
story.
line.
Woohoo!
These guys that gave up track position, all of those
That wasn't the
guys,
flip.
they
That was not a
made
flip,
sure they
but
only have to stop one more time to finish this race. Now you see McDowell says, man, I got to get on their fuel strategy. This is purely a counter to try to not have to pit twice. So he comes to pit road before the end of the stage. That leaves Briscoe out. Briscoe is feeling great about winning the stage now, Dave.
McDowell and Chris Buescher.
Ha ha! Cindy got a penalty!
18 lap, connected lap. You see the fuel there just to get him gone.
Fucking
They
bitch.
were the only 2 that were close enough to the leader to be able to get onto pit road before it was closed with 2 laps to go.
Absolutely right, Rick. The 14 of Briscoe, when he took the start-finish line, 2 to go, close pit road, everyone else is committed. The action is furious. It's all over the racetrack. What you need to know at home is we're a lap and a half from the end of stage 1, and we're all going to have to take a deep breath and reset, including myself. This has been a captivating first 19 laps.
Briscoe up front, Tyler Reddick, Suarez, Chastain, and Todd Gilliland, the rookie, running in the 5th position right now. Logano, Ty Dillon, Michael McDowell, Austin Dillon, and Kyle Busch all in the top 10. Under 2 laps to go in stage 1. Mark Truex Jr. fighting for every point that he can get. You see still on some of the cars the red light blinking. Those are no longer required. NASCAR has said that's not a requirement anymore when you go to slicks.
Yeah, so basically they've just now said that they feel the track is in dry condition. So that is basically what all these cars are now swapped over to. I love this look at Kevin Hartman with the clear visor. You can see the work he's putting in. Truex right behind him. And these guys guys are almost a lap down, if you can believe it, because in the top right of the screen, you see where the 14 is. He's at the top of the hill. So he's basically the backstretch behind these two. Running in the 28th position is Kevin Harvick.
Briscoe looking to claim stage 1 and grab a playoff point if he can do it, but
William Byron behind him gets a lap down. So William Byron is hustling right here to try to unlap himself before the end of the stage. He has lost so much time on those rain tires, he's actually a lap
He's not gonna
down.
do it.
He would get the free pass, he's in that position, but he would much rather just unlap himself because that way he wouldn't have to pit. If he stays a lap down, he gives up all his track possession again. He goes to the tail end of the field. So an important last corner for Byron. Briscoe trying to trap him a lap down. I don't blame him.
yeah, he won't be able to unlap himself.
So Chase Briscoe wins stage 1.
Wins stage 1 at the Glen. From wet weather tires to racing.
It's going to be a while until we get the caution flag. 10th place is like 27 seconds back.
Was able to make time, and he ends up winning stage 1. Tyler Reddick, Daniel Suarez, Gilliland, Ross Chastain, all in the top 5. 4th stage win of 2022 for Chase Briscoe.
So with Geico, we can easily bundle home and car insurance and save even more.
Yeah.
I gotta use the bathroom.
Just like that breakfast burrito.
So can I get chorizo?
Yeah. Better for it. Yeah.
Carnita.
Just chicken. Just give me a bunch of chicken.
Bacon.
Oh wait, there isn't too much hot sauce, is there? I have a sense of that.
I actually like hot sauce. Can I get chips?
How about guacamole?
I don't really know what we're talking about anymore.
Burritos.
Sure.
Okay.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Sorry, Mom. It's amazing what you can build on AWS. Imagine creating cool stuff that can make ordering tacos a breeze and let you watch every shot from every player anywhere you want. Learn about investing in the coolest companies and watch your favorite team from the other side of the world. Just imagine what they can do when I'm in charge.
The competition is incredibly fierce. You're willing to put everything at stake, including your life, to try to win.
Everyone's competitors, and you're going to get into it with your friends.
You're supposed to be friends.
It's easy to say you never miss the birthday of your child until you see someone else driving your car.
I want to be the one that steals the show.
Has your income changed due to COVID-19? Does your home need insulation or a heating system? Zero Draft offers income-based grants honored by New York State for qualifying households. To find out more, you're looking at
Stay. We are so sorry. I hope you'll have us over again. He's in training. Oh, if I weren't earning 2% cash back right now, you'd be in so much trouble. Are you serious? Again, my apologies. Got myself a pair too.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Visa card. That's real life ready.
Started.
Got comfort issues? Chilly or drafty rooms? Is your upstairs hot in the summer or cold in the winter? One call to Zero Draft and it's fixed. We're the guys to call. Our name says it all. Zero Draft.
NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Ford. Built Ford proud. And start solving your projects today at northerntool.com. We're made for this.
T-Mobile has 5G here, and we also cover you up here. Yep, you get free Wi-Fi now with
all flight long. We do coverage differently, with expanded high-speed data across the world. So you're connected here, and here, not yet. But down here, you're covered with a year of AAA roadside assistance on us. On the ground, in the air, overseas, T-Mobile has coverage beyond the expected.
Finished? Of course not. You know crispy, juicy, tender cookie. You know the crumbs at the bottom of the bag are the finale to your McDonald's crispy chicken sandwich.
When you have auto glass damage, choose Safe Flight. We can come to you and replace your windshield. Wow, thank you. Bye, bye. Don't wait, schedule now.
Safe Flight Repair, Safe Flight Replace.
Today's aerial coverage brought to you by Geico, giving some great view. This facility here at Watkins Glen International is packed full of campers, tents, fans coming out in droves, the sellouts, and I hope that they all decided to wait out that little inclement weather that was here so that they can enjoy this racing like we had. That first stage was really amazing.
Yeah, that was a fun first stage. As pissed as I am about how they just held them off for like 30 more minutes and didn't let them race, I am happy that this first stage has been so good. It was a really good first stage and it's been a pretty good race so far.
Radio between Johnny Klossmeyer and Chase Briscoe. Him on the radio said, if you start up front, can you win the stage? And then he said, our only shot to win is if we get down to do fuel only here. For Chase Briscoe, one stage one, back with the start of stage two in a moment.
This is an official reminder from the Ford Motor Company to wear sunscreen this summer.
I get all the pickle I want without having to deal with the pickle jar.
Having to figure out how to open it.
How to open the pickle jar. This has totally streamlined the pickle process. Sonic Big Dill Cheeseburger.
Imagine having the elite performance of Goodyear now on your Skechers. Enhance your traction, durability, and stability with Skechers, featuring the top-tier performance of premium Goodyear rubber. Get all-season performance with Goodyear and Skechers.
This is an official reminder from the Ford Motor Company to take the scenic route this summer.
You need a bulldozer, backhoe, boom lift, anything to lift, push, pull, or dig on that jet set of yours? Come see old Clarky. You want a warranty? I'll get you a warranty. On almost any machine, new or used, we sell. I want your machine to help you get the job done right, so you can get home at night safe to see your family.
Thanks, Clarky.
Thank you, kids. My name's Clarky, and I sell construction equipment to the American working man, because that's who I am, that's who I care about.
Travel down to Clarky's to get a machine.
My doctor just told me I have advanced stage 4 cancer. Why wasn't it caught earlier? Who will take care of my family?
The only thing worse than learning you have cancer is learning you should have been diagnosed sooner. Should your doctor have tested you earlier? Were you denied a potential cure because your doctor failed to act? If so, you are not alone. The Porter Law Group can get you the answers you deserve. Call 833-888-LATE for a free case evaluation or visit nycancerlawyers.com.
Harry Potter Wizarding Weekend continues with back-to-back airings of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Parts 1 and 2.
I want to watch some Harry Potter.
Right here on USA. Congratulations to the driver of the 9, Chase Elliott. The first time he's ever done it, he is.
Oh, there we go. Chase Elliott has just now clinched the regular season champion.
Regular season champion at the end of the race in Daytona.
Those 15 in playoff points. He knows other people will get some, but 15, that's the most you can get in the regular season. Good for Chase. Another big announcement from NASCAR. Look at that. Double file.
There we
A
go.
little look at the front stretch. One thing to point out, though, you know, while there's a dry lane, there's still some dampness on the right side. So if I'm one of the cars on the right-hand side right here, I'm going to have to really be careful down into turn one. You see it right there. You know, a little damp on the inside.
Stage 2 about to get underway. The field
Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Stage 2 is underway.
action. Gilliland in the 38 on the inside, trying to hold off Logano on the outside of the 22. Gilliland surging ahead. How far off the track will he go? Enough that he hopes to get grip and traction as he dives into turn 2.
Got some new players at the front of the field. Todd Gilliland now takes the reins of this race. He will lead Joey Logano by 4. Side by side behind them. That blue car on the inside of that yellow car, that is Ty Dillon.
Here comes Kyle.
On the back straightaway.
Kyle Busch takes him 3 wide. Dillon backs out of the gas.
Kyle Busch up to 3rd.
Bust up pretty deep. Oh, he did a good job, man. Stayed on line. Didn't lose anything on corner exit and down. Really surprised by that.
Really good move by Kyle there.
Two there, Logano. Gilliland leads them out of the carousel. Yeah, first time they've been through that interlude side by side. Still running this racetrack. How about the rookie, Todd Gilliland, showing the experienced guy, Joey Logano, what he's got on this road course.
Kimi Räikkönen's in 9th right now.
Todd Gilliland impressing everybody. So all strategy you see on the left-hand side. These guys 12, 9, 10.
Well, Kimi's up to 9th now, but yeah, that's insane.
McDowell, the first guy that can stop one more time. That's what swamped up this field. How about Kimi Räikkönen, the F1 champ, up to 9th in this strategy. Great experience running at the front, learning quickly, Bagley.
Kimi Räikkönen on the move. What a maiden voyage in the Cup Series for him. He's trying to wedge his way underneath and slide through. He'll do that at the bottom of turn number 2 and the bottom of the S's. Here's Kimi right now through turn number 3. He is up to 9th. He is 3.14 seconds behind the race leader. A lot of traffic to deal with, but Daly's got a full head of steam right now.
Yeah, we really didn't see as much movement as we anticipated from Kimi under the wind conditions, but now that they're on the slicks, you can see a little bit of a mistake right there, losing the back of the car a little bit in the bus stop, but that's put the 9 and the 17 Bushel side by side. Chase Elliott right here, expanding camera.
2 really good race car drivers racing right now. Chase Elliott and Kimi Räikkönen. Never thought we'd say that in the same sentence. Chase Elliott trying to get around Kimi Räikkönen.
Doesn't know his weaknesses. Kimi's having to learn these drivers, and they're having to learn his traits as well.
The regular season champion now trying to figure a way around the F1 world champion here at Watkins Glen. And again, Gilliland out in front, Logano a half a second behind him. Kyle Busch has moved in front of McDowell. Those guys will all have to come to pit road before we see the 34 of McDowell come to pit road.
Running on board with Chase Elliott right now as he works his way up through the S's. You mentioned how he's trying to figure out what he's racing against. Well, right now, the best way is to follow him through until you get the opening. That's exactly what Chase is doing right now. Closing up on the back bumper, looking to the inside, now the outside, going into the bus stop.
Kimi throws the block, now they're going into the bus stop side by side. Chase backs out. Still right there on the back bumper, looks to the inside now on the carousel. Going to be side by side to the carousel here. Kimi's going to give the spot to Chase on corner exit. Kimi showing everyone he didn't come here to ride around. He came here to race. What a block on Chase Elliott. Forced Chase Elliott to get aggressive and another part of the racetrack made the pass, but everybody in this area is watching that happen, knowing now if you're going to pass Kimi, you're going to have to take it from him. And some other names in front of Kimi. We have Joey Hand running 6. We've seen him in a lot of the road courses. That yellow car right there holding up the lines. Corey LaJoie, he cycled to the front. Just in front of him, or right behind him, excuse me, is that 41 of Cole Custer. That's who Chase is attacking here into 1.
That is the battle for the 7th position. Corey LaJoie in 7th. He's into 7. Cole Custer in the 8, or in the 41 in the 8th spot. Here's Joey Logano. He's running in the 2nd position right now. And Kyle Busch, after that great restart, is still moving forward. He wants a piece of 2nd.
That's a great run here by Kyle. He puts the pressure on Joey, and they get over the curb there. Man, these cars abuse the curbs through the bus stop. We closed in a little bit on Gillen right here. Joey trying to get up there and battle for that lead. Kyle Busch right behind him.
Yeah, really good battle. You see, now they're starting to run that traditional line, use all of the curbing. Todd Gillen continue to do a good job. See, the 18 right there, Kyle Busch, a little bit of a wiggle getting into turn 6. A little bit of an overbrake, he was able to get control.
And the two-time champion Kyle Busch opened up this weekend about how difficult it has been not having a contract for next year to drive for Joe Gibbs Racing. He doesn't know what his future holds, and he said it's been sleepless nights. It's a big pass there by Logano as he goes by Gilliland. Logano in front of Gilliland now.
But Todd Gilliland wants it back. He'll move back to the inside of Logano, reclaim the lead before they even get to turn 2. But all that jostling has allowed Kyle Busch to close in, and it's also allowed another yellow car to close in. Michael McDowell in the 34 car. 4-car breakaway, 4-man free-for-all for the lead on the back straightaway.
Here comes Kyle Busch up on the inside of Logano. He backs out. Logano really overdriving the entries, really pushing a lot. We saw him slide the right front tire. Now down to the inside.
Oh boy, Logano for the lead.
Slowly going away here, struggling with the balance of the 38. He's going to get up several spots. Be very careful on that outside in the west.
Oh yeah, Todd Gillen just fell back to like 6th.
Yeah, he's way off pace. You can see.
Oh yeah, no, he's got a problem.
Is there any chance he's out of fuel?
Yeah, I think he's out of gas. Oh, he has an axle.
You can hear the engine acting very oddly, saying he might have broken an axle. What a shame for Todd Gillen with a good run going today.
Who do I think wins stage 2?
Something that can happen is you jump.
Joey Hand.
The weight comes off the rear tire. If you can land, it's not really an axle like it used to be going to a normal 4.9-inch. It's a little bit different the way this drive system works, but it still takes power and brings it out to each rear tire. That's what sounds like the issue is on the 38 car. Not something you're going to be able to repair on pit road. So, of course, they'll do their due diligence. Marty.
They're going to check the rear end here. Remember, they finished top 5 at Indianapolis, so they're putting the rear tires on, Steve, and they do indeed think it's a broken axle. And a moment ago, Todd came on the radio, said something is broken in the drive line, no doubt about it.
Too bad for Todd. Did such a nice job. Joey Logano still looking good, Rick.
Still out front. Kyle Busch running second. McDowell is third here at the Glen.
For COPD,
71 degrees in Watkins, Glen.
Breztri gives you better breathing, symptom improvement, and helps prevent flare-ups.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed. Breztri may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
If you have COPD, ask your doctor about Breztri.
Order for a Sonic Churro shake.
I got the ice cream.
Sprinkling the cinnamon sugar and adding a churro on top.
Ready with the Sonic Churro shake.
Sorry, Mom. It's amazing when you can build on AWS. Imagine creating cool stuff that can make ordering tacos a breeze and let you watch every shot from every player anywhere you want. What about investing in the coolest companies and watch your favorite team from the other side of the world? Just imagine what they can do when I'm in charge.
Get out. Fired up. Hook big ones. We get out and rip it. And we track them down. So crack a Mountain Dew and get out and do.
to go in stage 2. You're watching the NASCAR Cup Series. Go bowling at the Glen. And let's see who is on the move. Power Moves are brought to you by the Propane Education and Research Council. The 18, Kyle Busch, definitely on the move. Plus 30 since the start. Kyle Busch, after starting this race, because they did an engine change after qualifying at the back of the field, all the way up to the second spot right now, chasing after Joey Logano.
Kyle Busch down the straightaway in the braking zone. Can't really close the gap on Joey. Keeping a nice little gap between him and McDowell. And we've seen, the 18 car doesn't have the results, but they have had races like this, where they have been fast at some point or another, going at the 18, and Kyle Busch still had the pace. A lot of odd things happening this year, Jeff. Yeah, a lot of odd things. We talked a lot about. He doesn't know what he's doing next. We got to spin, Jeff, over in the interlude bus stop. The 8 cars involved. Can't tell who that other is. 70.
Mike Rockefeller and Tyler Reddick.
Rockefeller.
Tyler Reddick looks like he's stuck in the grass. That might be a. Oh no, it looks like he's good.
Get over here on the asphalt so we can get out of there. Luckily, it looks like there's very minimal damage. Just hope those toe links are all straight there in the tarp.
Yeah, that would be my concern. I thought for sure they were going to get stuck in the mud, but he drove away no problem. So right now you see Logano leading Kyle Busch. But wait here, I want to bring this to your attention. 2-stop strategy, which is what everybody on pit road thought was the best strategy. They only have one more stop ahead of them. Leading McDowell, second on that strategy. Chase Elliott, third, Chris Buescher. So while Logano is leading the race with Kyle Busch, those cars, Rick, only have to stop one more time. As we look at the top of the screen, it looks like some contact, Junior. I couldn't really see how it got started.
Everybody did such a good job right here trying to avoid. Everybody able to get through there without no problem. And Tyler Reddick, loses a lot of track position. He's got the pace, though. They'll figure it out how to get that track position back.
Marty.
So, Rick, all those strategies that Steve just talked about a moment ago, Chase Elliott and his team, they can do it on one more stop, but it's going to be tight on fuel. But Alan Gustafson opened up the green light for the end of the stage. Listen.
Hey, talk to me about the strategy stuff and what I can do to help. Can you get a second? We'll do. If you can make progress and potentially win this next stage, we'll do it. If not, just save what fuel you can so we can make a short window or run on the numbers.
That fuel's so tight, Bill Jr., but they're trying to make it on one more stop. So they want that playoff point, no doubt about it. 7 to go here in the stage. Talking to a couple of crew chiefs down here, they think, no doubt, Chase Elliott and those guys on the right strategy today.
See right here in the bus stop. Right ahead of Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon having a pretty solid little run right here behind him. Good hand as well. These two guys are hanging on to the tail end of that 9 car. Running right in 5th and 6th position. Got Ty Dillon talking a lot about Kyle Busch not knowing what he's doing next year. Ty Dillon in the same situation, no correction going in this car. Starting next year, Ty Dillon is rehearsing, auditioning every single week for his ride, trying to show everybody in this sport that he can still get it done.
Number of seats running out, though, is the problem for drivers like Ty Dillon. When you have Kyle Busch out there also searching for a ride, potentially, if he's not coming back to the 18, he goes to the top of the list as far as drivers looking for positions.
Watching Ty Dillon go off course right there. Now he starts to face another challenge. It was Chase Elliott. Now it's Joey Hand. And further back as they come off the end of the front straightaway and diving down into turn number 1, Martin Truex Jr. in the 19. You've also got Ross Chastain around him in the 1. You've also got Loris Hazelman's now flying around his outside as everybody now trying to work their way through the S's. And now here's Daniel Suarez right behind the 19. He's looking for real estate. He's got a lot of work to do to get by Truex.
Martin offline here. Going to go in there side by side with the 99. They're going to continue to battle through the exit. Suarez is going to get that position right behind the Logan now, put the pressure on. Martin struggling today, just don't have the good speed and the pacing we usually see from this 19 car. It's not been the same 19 car at the road courses since the next gen. No, it's really not. It's really struggled all year. Kyle Busch, though, having a really good day up in second place. I'd say this is the best we've seen a Toyota run all year on the road courses, but Truex struggling.
After riding along with Martin Truex Jr. and the Toyota onboard camera, you've got Denny Hamlin, who stayed on the rain tires a little too long, is a lap down.
Ed Vance here, and I'm at my favorite place again.
Sorry, did you say your name is Ed Vance? Like advance?
Crazy, right? And it just so happens he knows everything in advance.
Oh, you know the future? Did you know I needed 10W30?
No. I just know everything here in Advance Auto Parts, like where the 10W30 is.
So you don't know what I'll do next?
Actually, I do. You will be going to the oil aisle.
He's good.
It's Advance.
I spent a lot of time here.
He's here a lot.
This is how we advance.
This is supersonic Wi-Fi from Xfinity. It's fast. So gaming with your niece has never felt more intense. Hey, what does this button do?
Well, don't! Welcome to the fastest internet on the largest gig speed network.
Are you crying, Uncle Ed?
No! A little.
Only from Xfinity. Unbeatable internet made to do anything, so you can do anything.
We lost part of our forest to fire several years ago. We decided to stay and help it recover. People who have heavy machinery have the opportunity to reach out and help their neighbors for the common good.
Can I get a big deal cheeseburger?
Grilling the cheeseburger. Adding the pickle fries. Almost done with the Billy Ranch.
Order up. Sonic Big Deal Cheeseburger.
So it's Friday night dinner. All of a sudden, boom. The kid's like, Dad, what's that? You get the raw. Huh? It's a bit too aggressive, isn't it? Okay, yeah, sure. Rewind it. How about this? Beg your pardon, but bundling your home and car insurance could save you hundreds. And then the neighbors are like, giant gecko? Huh? Who? The little girl. Hi, gecko.
Well, what a commercial.
Yeah, I know, right?
See how much you could save by bundling with Geico.
Download the official app for NASCAR. You can follow the action with free live scoring using our cameras as well as radio broadcast. Search NASCAR in your app store to download and start a free trial. Mark.
Jimmy Rankin here on pit road with 3 to go in this stage here. He was one of those cars that got the slicks early, so just trying to connect the fuel strategy here for the 91. He makes his second stop, Dave.
And Martin Truex Jr. trying to find a way into the playoffs. Remember, one of his tasks today is to take care of the engine in that 19 car. Baby that motor so that he doesn't have the same problem that 2 of his teammates have had this weekend so far.
Little contact here between the 19
and
that 27.
Here, the 19 has to get across the 27, maybe a little conservative on his time. The 19 trying to be quick. These are scheduled stops before the end of the stage because this man right here, Joey Logano, is going to take 2 to go right there, and that closes pit road. And now it's really between Joey Logano and Kyle Busch for this all-important playoff point. 2 drivers that feel they are off into the playoffs. They are going to try to win this stage for that playoff point. I couldn't tell who that was that just went by. That was slow. Oh, no. The 7 gas man. I think that's going to be a penalty for removing equipment. We'll have to hear what NASCAR has to say. There was another car slow that they passed. I couldn't tell who that was.
It's just coming off pit road as the top 2 going into the bus stop now. Morning.
So a moment ago, Rick, we told you Chase Elliott, Alan Gustus had told him, hey, if you can get the stage win, go for it. They have since backed him down. Listen to the radio.
How the hell do you need fuel on it? As much as you can give us. So you got no pressure back. Say what you can here. Take time to learn.
So, Steve, this was in their playbook from this morning, pitting at lap 17, which they did. They knew it would be tight to do it on one more stop. Chase tried to get the stage win, just not worth it, though. They're just trying to do it on one more stop, so he had to back way down on his pace.
And you see 1 to go in this stage right here for Logano.
Final lap of the stage.
You know, you stop before you know you can make it. What's concerning, we haven't seen a lot of yellows in this stage, right? So a lot of green flag running. That's when you burn the most fuel. But a great battle right here for this stage win.
Comes down to Joey Logano and Kyle Busch. Right now, Logano's got about 3, maybe 4 car lengths in hand over Kyle. Kyle should probably take this second place finish of this stage and then go to the final one. No need to put that car in a precarious position. Although, he's done it before. The question is, can he do it in the next half lap?
I think Logano's certainly got a comfortable lead. Either one of these guys are going to push that hard to make that type of mistake. I don't believe it's two veterans. Kyle, though, getting a wide entry. That's a unique line into the carousel to be able to try to maximize the acceleration on corner exit. And right now, Joey Logano coming to the end of this stage. Just no mistakes. Get in these corners easy. Don't try to leave too much speed on corner exit. Simply make no mistakes. Get this stage win.
So Joey Logano is going to win stage 2.
22 season and 3 stage wins. This will be stage win number 4.
And Joey Logano wins stage 2.
Logano as he takes the green and white checkered flag here at Watkins Glen.
Mike now continuing a great run in the 3rd position. Excelling. You hear all these cars shut off. They're going to save gas. 7 of Corner of the Joy, we showed you that replay of the gas can sliding out. That is removing equipment out to start at the tail of the field for the 3rd stage.
A little more bumping and banging, and the racetrack drying up quite a bit, but it was Joey Logano locking up that right front, still getting stage 2 win.
Oh, hey. Buying a car from Vroom is so easy. All you need is a phone and a finger. Just go to vroom.com, scroll through thousands of cars, then tap to buy. That's it. No sales fee, no wasted time. Just straight up great cars. Right from your phone to your driveway.
My dad just offered me some steak and shrimp, so I'm going to go get some steak and shrimp.
Oh yeah, she digs it. Buy your car on vroom.com. Vroom. Get in.
We're no etiquette experts, but biting into your McDonald's crispy chicken sandwich and ending up with a whole pickle slice dangling from your mouth isn't impolite. It's human.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive, because we only serve those who honorably serve. All ranks, all branches, and their eligible family members. Yep, that is exclusive. We're fine with that.
They have this unbelievable ability to literally drive a car on the edge of control.
That's the goal, right? Chance to race for a championship.
My life insurance policy's up to date, and I know what I'm signing up for.
Be a husband, be a father, be a race car driver. To be the best, it takes everything that you have.
Heavy-duty pulling power. To conquer the high road or the off-road. The GMC Sierra.
It's not done being made yet.
Premium and capable. Step up to GMC with 0% financing. Heavy-duty miles. GMC. We are professional grade.
A new Chevy is the smart way to hit the open road this summer. The smart way to road trip and seek new adventures. Go a little farther this summer in a new Chevy. Find new get up and go, find new roads. Enjoy the open road. Qualified lessees with a current eligible lease can get this Equinox for around $269 a month. Or well-qualified buyers can get 0% financing on all 2022 Equinox models when you purchase.
The next generation of Wi-Fi is here with supercharged speeds faster than a gig. Unbeatable internet made to do anything so you can do anything. Xfinity, proud career partner of NASCAR. Coming up on Wednesday, Dale Jarrett will join the Bagman. That's right, Mike Bagley and Pete Pistone on the morning drive, and DJ's going to be the guest on NBC Sports on Sirius XM. Bagman, what do you think? You guys going to have enough to talk about?
Oh, I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. Pete and I always love catching up with DJ. If we're not talking about racing, could be talking about golf, could be talking about anything, DJ. What do you think?
Yeah, we can talk about anything, but I'll probably be talking a little slower because it likes to be 6 o'clock where I'm going to be out in Scottsdale. But I'll get up, I'll get ready. Looking forward to it. Always a fun time.
covering what all is happening. What an incredible start to this day and this race, KP.
Listen, I'm not sure you can cover it all on the morning drive. You may have to do that 2 or 3 because there's been so much. Start in the rain. We saw some great drives. How about Michael McDowell? We talked to him earlier. He said, I'm feeling the pressure. I know this should be a good race for me. Daytona should be a good race for me. We have seen some spectacular drives out of Cup drivers in so many varied conditions. Kimi Räikkönen. We keep talking about Kimi Räikkönen. He's running the top 10. They put him in position, and a lot of it's strategy. But so many things have happened here. This wet weather, this car, these drivers, it is an honor to be sitting here talking about Cup drivers today because they have shown what they're made of.
Yeah, but the thing that's going to come to play here, possibly, because we haven't really seen, other than the stage endings with the caution, haven't seen any of that. There's some drivers that are going to be really close. They're going to have to save some fuel at the start of stage 3 here, so it could get very interesting as to who actually can and will make it.
Listen, I'm glad that I don't drive right now because staying on the racetrack and saving fuel are 2 things I'm not sure I could have ever done. I have to say, but it has been. We've seen some great calls on from the pits. We've seen some great strategies. We've seen so much positive stuff here today. It has been for these fans that sit here through the rain and they're sitting in the grandstand, and the ones at home that have waited it out. It's been a show, Rick.
It definitely has. As Joey Logano will lead Kyle Busch onto pit road, as well as others making their way onto pit road. Parker, in front of you.
Right, and that blue car back there is Ty Dillon, who finished 5th in stage 2 with an excellent run in these variable conditions. Very happy with the handling of that race car, saying it's turning well before Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel for him. They're going to tell him to wait on that fuel, Dave.
Stage winner Logano said, I need more turn, but I can't afford to lose the back end. He came into this race today 3rd in playoff points. He'll get 1 more there, Marty.
Dave, these are the teams and drivers that pitted at lap 9 or 10. They will have 1 more stop today. Kyle Busch needs more front grip. They're thinking maybe on that final stop, fuel only. Little drag race there between Kyle Busch and Joey Logano off of pit road. Stage 2 wrapped up. Logano wound up getting the stage win here at Watkins Glen, but all these guys will be way behind in track position.
Growing up, I was afraid of clowns.
Yep.
Still am.
I love to make people smile. It's just what I do. So when Toyota gave fans the opportunity, I designed a funny car.
Is the clown car growing on me? Nope. But it has changed the way we celebrate in Victory Lane.
What would you design? Enter for a chance to win. Sponsorfire.com. Finished? Of course not. You know crispy, juicy, tender rookie. You know the crumbs at the bottom of the bag are the finale to your McDonald's crispy chicken sandwich.
For tires, I only trust Goodyear. So I wear Skechers with Goodyear rubber for incredible traction, durability, and stability. If Goodyear rubber can handle what this piece throws at it, just imagine how well it'll perform in your feet. Try Skechers with Goodyear.
Running the sanctuary absolutely brings me peace. The work is 100% cathartic for me. You know, I find myself getting tied up in it and being busy, and then it's really nice just to sit and breathe in life, and it's beyond zen.
For COPD, ask your doctor about Breztri. Breztri gives you better breathing, symptom improvement, and helps prevent flare-ups.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed. Breztri may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
If you have COPD, ask your doctor about Breztri.
Cracked windshield? Trust SafeLight. We'll replace your glass and recalibrate your vehicle's camera so automatic emergency braking and lane departure warning work properly. Don't wait, schedule now.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush.
NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Propane, environmental environmentally friendly energy for everyone. And by Go Bowling. Go to GoBowling.com to find a center near you. What a run it has been already for the 34 of Michael McDowell. He is out front, but it's not only the driver that's behind the wheel making things happen, it's an entire team effort, Dave.
Well, it certainly is, Rick, and we want to redirect folks to NBCSports.com to relive the story of Brett Sancelli and his sister, Courtney. Brett has dedicated his life to taking care of his little sister after she was involved in an auto accident early in their lives. Instead of being selfish and just worrying about himself, he took care of Courtney, brought her through life, watches over her every moment he can, even got the school to have her be the homecoming queen. And in dedication to her, the diamond on the left side of his chest doesn't have an S for Superman, but it has an H for heart, because that's what it's all about with the Sancellis, and Brett has shown that throughout life with his sister Courtney. Today, his driver has cycled to the front after pit stops and did not pit this time, so McDowell in position to win, and what a story it would be. Again, inspiring to watch. You need to go to NBCSports.com. Here, our Dustin Long narrate the story of Brett and Courtney Sancelli.
Thanks, Dave. What an incredible story that we have been able to be a part of on the pre-race show, and you can see that again, as Dave just mentioned. What a great story there for Brett Sancelli and sister Courtney and their family and what they've gone through, and how giving that family is. But it's Michael McDowell who is out front of Chase Elliott and Joey Hand. Joey Hand's going to be on a little bit different strategy. He won't be able to get as far as the others will. But
all right, I think the steak and shrimp is done now.
Had to come back down pit road. A penalty on that last stop. Rick Kyle said, what happened? What was the penalty for? Ben Bayshore said, we were 1 inch over the front line. So when they did come back down pit road, Steve, they did top off with fuel. But Kyle Busch now even further back, going to have to restart in the 30th position.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, that is tough. So we talk about strategy. You see last pit on the left-hand side. You see the 18, 17, those laps right there, 16 for Stenhouse. They're trying to stretch the fuel to one more stop. You mentioned Joey Hand. I don't believe he can do it from lap 12. But Parker, a good run for this 15 car. Joey Hand consistently been behind the wheel of the road courses.
No doubt, Steve. And actually, the team just came on the radio and told him he's 2 laps short from being able to make it to the next window and to save fuel throughout this run, seeing if they can just hold on that track position.
That'd be
Apparently, there's a snake in the front yard.
Well, before the day, I didn't even think he could stop before the stage. With what I expected for fuel strategy, Marty and I had this conversation. He gave me his updates of what he's heard from some of the crew chiefs, and that's when it became apparent they could go farther than I was giving them credit for. But for lap 12, that'll be impressive for Joey Hand.
Once again, 2 by 2, the field
getting ready for the start of stage 3. Final stage here. There are 47. It will be 46 laps to go. Field approaching the Geico restart zone. McDowell first into the gas of the 34. On his outside, the 9 of Chase Elliott. So good at this racetrack. And McDowell hold him off.
Oh.
Through one, he will.
And meanwhile, they're stacked up further back, bouncing off each other, sliding off course 4, 5 wide. As up front, they're looking 3 wide for the lead. Michael McDowell under attack now from Chase Elliott. Also, Joey Hand's in the mix. But Christopher Bell, Christopher Buscher, you've got a whole slew of cars now wrestling for real estate to the back straightaway.
The front 3 are singered out. Look at that pack behind them. Christopher Bell and Christopher Buscher side by side to the bus stop. Bell's going to take the position. Everybody behind him having to check up with Buscher. Looks a little bit for the entry of the carousels. You watch the top 3 here. Michael McDowell, the 3 car around here. We got the 91 as well.
Oh, it's Kimi Räikkönen and Austin Dillon.
The 91's made contact with the wall.
That's a caution.
Junior, oh, and the caution's out.
Kimi Räikkönen in the 91, and he has made contact with that inside wall. You see the flaps up on the hood.
See the damage to the tire barrier. We can get these cars started. Moved away.
Yeah, I think the damage is on the left side of the 91. Looks like the left front has some damage. Oh yeah, pretty heavy damage on the left side. Now
Yeah, Kimmy's done.
Getting around there with the camera. I believe this is going to end the day for Kimi Räikkönen. Unfortunate. As we talked about at the beginning of the show, I thought 90 laps would be just a great fun time. This Project 91. Let's take a look at it, Junior.
There you see him the middle of the bus stop, just some contact from the left rear quarter panel of the 3 car, sends him around to the 1 of, I believe, Ross Chastain. Don't really see how Kimmy's involved, but obviously got ran wide probably on the exit, so you're right there.
Not Kimmy, I know, it sucks. He was actually running pretty well.
Around, and Kimmy is on the inside of all this. Gets just ran wide. He jumps a tire on the 27 car and sends him right into the tire barrier.
I don't think there was anything that 91 could do at that point. Everybody stacks up. Oh, this would be a great shot at the 91. You're going to see him just get pushed left, right. There. So,
Who would you think wins the race this evening? I think. Well, I originally had Truex, but it doesn't really seem like that's going to happen now. I'm going to go Michael McDowell.
Something he has not done before in the Cup Series. He will take the mandatory trip to the infield care center to get checked out. Kimi Räikkönen, we saw him running up inside the top 10 early in this race. The F1 World Champion now out of the race after this incident on lap 45.
All those cars that were reportedly very close on fuel, they love to see this yellow riding around saving gas.
Caution has come out for the 3rd time here at Watkins, Glen, this time involving Kimi Räikkönen.
Beautiful day in Baltimore, where most people will probably know that Geico could save them money on car insurance, right? You see, the thing is, Geico, well, could help them save on boat insurance too. Oi! Okay, I'm ready to come in now. Hello? I'm trying my best. Serious now, I'm serious. Request to come ashore.
Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
I love the sauce computer. So it's not just ranch, it's got a little zing to it. Yeah, like a dilly ranch. Don't dilly-dally with this. It's a Sonic. Don't dilly-dally, run. Sonic, big deal cheeseburger. It is kind of a big deal. You're a big deal.
Pain used to keep me from what I love most. Not anymore. Blue Emu gave me my horsepower back. It's the powerful relief my joints need.
Blue Emu. It works fast and you won't stink.
This is supersonic Wi-Fi from Xfinity. It's fast. So gaming with your niece has never felt more intense. Hey, what does this button do?
No, don't!
Welcome to the fastest internet on the largest gig speed network.
Are you crying?
Only from Xfinity.
A guy like this, who relies on his truck for work, knows that his truck will take care of him, and he takes care of his truck. And WeatherTech has always been the ultimate protection. From floor liners to no-drill mud flaps, to tech liner for your truck bed, to bump step, to the handy under-seat storage system. And Cup Foam keeps foam secure in any cup holder. Order your American-made products at WeatherTech.com.
I'm freaking out. Oh, okay. That's the due date too.
You're a little stressed about fall, maybe having a baby. That could be detrimental to track.
WWE Raw superstars Bianca Belair and Montez Ford take a spin with NASCAR legend Jeff Burton. It's time to go fast. Yes!
Yo, what the fuck? Yo, look at this snake that was in our front yard. Look at that shit.
The NTT IndyCar Series has just 2 races remaining in their season after last night. Joseph Newgard getting the win at WWT Raceway. The next stop is Portland, Oregon. That's the action Sunday, September 4th. That's on NBC and Peacock. And we are in the 3rd stage here. You're watching NASCAR Cup Series. Go bowling at the Glen, Marty.
We have talked, Rick, about how tight this window is for Chase Elliott and Alan Gustafson to make it to where they want to be at lap 56 or so. Here's a radio transmission when stage 3 got going.
And
any opportunities you get throughout this next stint to save, please do so. Copy.
So, Steve, what a welcome gift this caution is. Yes, I know it's only a few laps, but you're sitting on top of that pit box like Alan Gustafson. You wanted this.
Oh, yeah, but like I mentioned, we hadn't seen a lot of yellows in the middle stage, so an early yellow here helps. You can usually save, just a good rule of thumb is it takes about as much fuel to run one lap under green as it would to run about 2 or 2.5 laps under yellow. So that helps you get to your next window. Really, as we see 44 to go, they'll take the green at 43 to go. You know, I'm thinking these guys want to pit 34, 33, 32 to go, somewhere in there. Be interested to see, as you see right now, fuel remaining. It's starting to get very low on some of these cars.
Getting ready for the restart. Michael McDowell, Chase Elliott, side by side. Once again, Chase was able to utilize that.
I appreciate the stream, Sam. I have Peacock, so I can only watch the Coke 400. Yeah, Peacock sucks.
Behind him once again, 3 wide again, coming into turn 2.
Michael McDowell's able to hang on to the lead. Chase Elliott's trying to hang on to second because here comes Christopher Bell. Bell in that yellow and black car will move his way to the number 3 position. You got Kyle Larson, Joey Hand there. Clean restart and clean run up to the S's.
Yeah, Joey Hand lost a couple of positions there on that restart from turn 1 and 2. Christopher Bell here now showing up on the stage. Larson is well rebounding from an earlier bus stop penalty to get himself into the top 4. But to the inside comes the 5 car of Larson trying to make a move on Christopher. He'll be side by side now. It's just a battle.
I want to go see the snake, but I also want to watch this.
You can see right now the 5 car with forward momentum able to break harder into turn 6, gets that position. Joey Hand behind trying to follow around.
Yeah, that fight for third won by the 5 of Kyle Larson. He's taking that spot over. It's still McDowell in front of Chase Elliott, then Larson. And right behind him, Christopher Bell trying to hold on to 4th.
Leaders come downhill into turn number 1. You're watching Kyle Larson there in the 5. You've got the 9 of Chase Elliott right behind race leader Michael McDowell. That 1-2 Hendrick Motorsports punch has been billed as the class of the field today. But they're going to have to get around Front Row Motorsports and Michael McDowell. McDowell now up to about 4 car lengths with the lead to the back straightaway.
Incredible race so far for Michael. Really kind of been the guy to beat today. Look at a couple of names in the top 10 as well that we usually don't see. Stenhouse Jr. back there in 8th place. Aaron Jones running well in 9th as well. Hollandinger's worked his way back up to 7th position after some issues early. We've got a battle for the lead though, heading to you, Jim.
Michael McDowell got very loose in that carousel. Chase Elliott taking advantage of it. Going to outbreak McDowell to take the lead. Now McDowell's got to just go and stay calm. Don't get upset. There's a long way to go. Keep racing hard.
Chase Elliott, 4 wins already in 2022. He's back out front. He's won here twice, looking to make it 3 times, but he still has to think about that fuel situation. Stopped a little bit earlier than Michael McDowell. McDowell has fallen back to second now.
Chase Elliott now back into familiar territory, back to the top of the leaderboard. Michael McDowell, though, right behind him, about 4 car lengths as Elliott climbs the hill to turn 3. That's the left-hander. Here's turn 4. That's the right-hander that feeds onto the back straightaway. Chase's lead now, about 3, maybe even 4 car lengths.
Got to get into this 9 team. Strongest team on the road courses over the last several years. Didn't quite have it figured out with the next gen cars. Trackhouse was dominating, had the fastest cars all the road courses earlier in the year. Chase Elliott's shown up though when it matters here in Watkins Glen. Chase Elliott, you can see with his Xfinity cam, got a great shot as he enters turn 6. He's going to heavy brake, downshift, back to the throttle hard. Get ready to go to turn 7, another downshift, heading to the front straightaway.
And every now and then we see the eyes of Chase Elliott glancing back up into the mirror as he looks back to see how much distance he's put between himself and that car of Michael McDowell. Now McDowell.
There is a snake in our front yard as we speak, and he's a good friend. I want him to stay there so he can be our friend. Look at him. Look at him. He's beautiful. He's beautiful. I want to meet him. I didn't take this picture.
You'll have that after you even win the Xfinity Series race here like you did yesterday.
You know,
And he's like completely harmless too.
He's saving, he's driving away doing it.
I want a snake. I want him to be our friend.
Trying to maintain track position, but also trying to make his fuel mileage work. Again, the 5-car right on the right rear quarter panel to the carousel. Not able to really make a move, not able to put it sideways. He gets a little loose on throttle there. And Bagley talked about how calm Chase Elliott looks. Let me tell you why. He is so fast. He is driving away.
Chase Elliott might not be able to see all the way back to 6th, but he might want to be told who's running back there, because that's A.J. Allmendinger. Remember, he spun early, but Allmendinger has fought his way back. He's in the top 6 and a definite threat for the win here at Watkins Glen, but it's still Chase Elliott out front.
A.J. Allmendinger trying to crack his way back into the top 5 after that contact earlier with Austin Cindric. Right now, he's 3.54 seconds behind the race leader. He's been all the way to the back. Now he's working his way to the front, but he's got a whole lot more work to do, and he's got to get through some tough customers to get up there and wrestle for the lead and take it away from Chase Elliott.
You can see he's been sitting around this position for the last several laps, not able to close on Joey Hand. Joey Hand getting a lot out of this 15 car right now as he tries to close in on Christopher Bell. Just doing an incredible job. We know that this equipment is good equipment. Typically, though, we see it toward the back half of the field. Got a really talented driver back there behind the wheel making it happen. Yeah, he's also helped several of the Ford drivers find to hone their road course skills. Joey Hand's been a good addition to the Ford driver roundup. So important to be good on road courses. There's so many of them, you better find a way to be effective on them.
Elliott, McDowell, Larson, Bell. Bell running in that 4th spot. Time now for an exclusive Toyota nonstop.
Hi, I'm Kurt Busch, and this weekend, my number 45 Camry TRD will carry the all-new Toyota SmartPath platform at Watkins Glen International. Unfortunately, I won't be behind the wheel, but Ty Gibbs, who's been doing an incredible job subbing for me, will certainly give all you fans a show. SmartPath is Toyota's all-new digital retail platform that enables customers to complete payment estimates, trade-in values, and more before even stepping foot inside a Toyota dealership. SmartPath is their fast track to an all-new Toyota, allowing customers to simply log in, drop in, and drive off in their new car.
And again, Kurt Busch, he gets back to a speedy recovery. He's out for this race and for sure Daytona. Hoping to see him back for the playoffs. He is still in the playoffs with that win, and there's still a fight right now for that 16th spot. Chase Elliott, McDowell, Larson. When McDowell was up front, that would have been the 16th different winner if McDowell could have held on. But right now, you can't count him out. Still running in that 2nd spot.
Here he comes down the hill into turn number 1, looking further back. Good battle stacking up there from 4th on that. Christopher Bell right now in 4th. Got Joey Hand there in the 15. And then you've got A.J. Allmendinger who's trying to make that a solid 3-man fight. Then you drop back and you got one more trying to get added into the mix. That's the 17 of Chris Buescher. So they were fighting for a position, but it seems like they've stabilized out, Dale, and no one's really tried to or able to make advancements there in that battle.
Yeah, the last lap through, man was all over the back of Christopher Bell at the carousel, but now you see Christopher with a little bit of a healthy gap there. And now AJ trying to get to the back bumper of that 15 of Hand in attack. AJ Allmendinger, we know how good of a road racer he is. We see him win so many Xfinity races, also Cup races. He's got his work cut out for him, though, passing Joey Hand, but he'll put a lot of pressure on him, trying to force Joey into making a mistake. Joey will have to be on pit road for too much longer for fuel.
In the 10th position is Ryan Blaney, as we see the 15 of Joey Hand coming to pit road. Morning.
Joey Hand comes to pit road. They pitted at lap 12. You know who is thanking Chase Elliott profusely right now? You mentioned his name, Ryan Blaney. Blaney is sitting in 8th position right now. When Michael McDowell was leading, you mentioned it, Rick, he was out of the playoffs. Right now, Martin Truex Jr. all the way back in 21st, and that has dramatically changed since the playoff standings. Right now, Blaney plus 39. We could be looking at a scenario next week, Rick, where Martin Truex Jr. might be in a must-win situation at Daytona, final race of the regular season next week.
Riding on board to Kevin Harvick, board. Thanks to Northern Tool, giving us the straight shot. Watching this car work through the bus stop, we'll put it on the windshield. All that happens on the windshield, just like the camera. So the windshield gets dirtier and dirtier, harder and harder to see out of throughout the race. Kevin Harvick in 12th place. It's been a battle for these teams the entire weekend. Coming off 2 wins in a row. This weekend's just not gone as smoothly as those has, but he is continuing to fight, worked himself up to 12th place.
What a hot streak Kevin Harvick's been on, won the last 2 races, and here he is running on the 12th position. In the pit stop wave, we saw Joey Hand a lap ago. Now it's Chris Buescher and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. who have decided to make their green flag pit stop. Parker?
Right, Steve, fitting out the top 10 there for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. A great run here on the road course, and now we've got 35 laps to go. We'll see if he's able to connect this to the end, Dave.
Remember, Chris Buescher was the first one in to put slicks on versus the rain tires. So again, hitting a little bit early here. Their get-home lap, they're calling 55. We'll have to save a little bit to get from here. A little bit slow, waiting on the right-hand side, waiting for the fuel, and off he goes.
That's just how long it takes. When you are taking 4 tires with a single lug, you can change them for about 15 gallons of gas. These guys need their full 20 gallons. You saw how long they had to wait on fuel. The question now is Chase Elliott, Michael McDowell, Kyle Larson. When will they pit? Everyone who has pitted, if the yellow comes out, they would cycle to the front. So it's risk versus reward. How far does the 9, 34, and 5 dare to go as the 5 gets really loose in turn 6? My goodness, that was a big save by Larson. Here comes McDowell. Larson will follow him in. So that answers your question. Elliott stays on the racetrack.
Right, you saw it there in turn 6. Larson just struggling in that dirty air behind McDowell. They're just unable to get the car to do what he wants, and it's getting tight at times in traffic, and then you get that loose on the exit. It's 4 tires for him and filling it full of Sunoco fuel, Dave.
Crew goes over the wall, including tire carrier Brett Sancelli. They'll try to get Michael McDowell on and off pit road with a fast stop here, but again, waiting on fuel. Remember, 1 extra lap compared to Chris Buescher, who came in, and now they will send him away. Joey Logano on pit road as well. This will be their get-home lap. They put on left side tires and fuel it. He didn't have to take so much, right, Steve? He pitted later.
Yeah, so basically they're just trying to, they're afraid of those yellows, Dave, right? So they're coming right now. They don't have to wait as long for the fuel. You see what the advantage is, Dave. Great point. He catches right back to the 34 because the 22 had the requirement of less fuel. I assume the 9 will come this time. But Burton, how about that save by the 5?
Yeah, Kyle Larson. Watch him as he gets into turn 6. Downshifts, tries to throttle up and just sideways trying to go to that throttle. Rear tires did not hook up. That shows you how hard you got to drive these race cars. Now risk reward. You see the 9 stand on the racetrack. Come this next lap. So right now, Alan Gustus is saying just no yellow. Let me just get this 9 on the pit road before the yellow comes out, or we will lose our track position to these cars. Parker.
See AJ Allmendinger pitting here from the top 5. Really fast race car here as we went into the dry conditions. He told me he was really happy with this race car after yesterday's practice and that they were, quote, in the ball game, Marty.
Here comes the group who pitted at lap 17. And among those guys, Ryan Blaney coming to pit road right here, saying he lost the handle a little bit towards the end of that run. No word on Chase Elliott's radio as to when they would pit. You see that big wedge adjustment for Blaney as well. Interesting to keep in mind. Tyler Reddick and also Kyle Busch came down. Flash of fuel only for both of those cars. Remember, they topped off under that last condition, so we'll see if they gain a lot of track position as well. Look at that track race off pit road. Chase Elliott still on the racetrack.
Chase Elliott going through turn 6 and coming up on turn 7. Good opportunity for him to make his way to pit road this time, and he will.
So now it's basically Chase Elliott against his teammate Kyle Larson. In the upper right hand, you see the 5 going through the bus stop on the track map. The 9 is on pit road. Larson, the first car on the racetrack that can make it to the finish. So this would be control of the race. That is a long time on pit road, Marty, for the 9 of Elliott. Slow down there to his stall. We'll see if he can beat the 5 out.
Now that is excruciating for the driver. This is exactly the lap Alan Gustafson wanted to hit pit road. When I talked to him this morning, lap 59, got to pull the windshield wiper up to get that tear off. Chase Elliott said, I think I heard the front tires early in that run. That's on me. Once no other changes on the run, waiting on all the Sunoco fuel to get in. Now let's watch the blend. Going to be tight with his teammate Kyle Larson.
I believe the 9's going to have it. We've seen this when people are putting dries on that exit of pit road kind of shortcuts turn 1. Look at the big advantage. That short pit exit around turn 1 puts the 9 back out in front of the 5. Currently not the leader of the race. They're in 6th and 7th respectively, but the first 2 cars on the racetrack that can make it to the finish on fuel.
Larson, McDowell chasing after Elliott now, but it's still Custer, Cindric, LaJoy, Austin Dillon, and Rockefeller that are the top 5.
Chase Elliott coming out of the bus stop into the carousel. Downshifting hard. Right behind him, Kyle Larson. McDowell not far behind him. Those 3 cars right now setting up to race to the finish. Big advantage with these cars. Look at the gap that they've created. If you need to save fuel, now's the time. You got a teammate behind you if you're Chase Elliott. You got McDowell multiple seconds behind. If you need to save a little fuel, you can do it right now.
Out in front, 2 Hendrick drivers. It is Larson chasing.
Why is Roger happy? It's the little things Carvana does. See, Roger wants to sell his car stat. Little things like getting a real offer in 2 minutes really make Roger happy. So does Carvana's customer advocate, Caitlin, picking up his car at promptly 10 a.m.
Hi, are you Roger?
With the Honda Accord? Yes, I am. Right over there. Will I be getting...
And he loves that Caitlin pays him on the spot. Yeah, Raj? It's the little things that drive you happy. We'll drive you happy at Carvana.
All new Subway Series menu. 12 irresistible new subs. Like number 6, the Boss. Pepperoni kicks it off with meatball smothered in rich marinara.
Let's get the fresh mozzarella.
Don't you forget who the real boss is around here. It's Subway's biggest refresh yet.
In my experience, if you work the land, you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to have a little bit of optimism, a little bit of idealism, and a whole lot of get-go.
Verizon Frontline is built for those we all rely on. Built to prioritize first responders. Built for extreme conditions. Built for America's most reliable 5G network. Because when seconds count and lives are on the line, the people we rely on need technology they can rely on. Verizon is the #1 network choice in public safety. Verizon Frontline, the advanced network and technology for first responders.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive because we were created for officers. But as we've evolved with the military, we've grown to serve all who honorably serve, no matter their rank or when they were in. A Marine just out of boot camp, or a petty officer from 73, and even his kids and their kids. USAA is made for all who honorably serve and their eligible family members. Are we still exclusive? Absolutely. And that's exactly why you should join.
They have this unbelievable ability to literally drive a car on the edge of control.
That's the goal, right? Chance to race for a championship.
My life insurance policy's up to date, and I know what I'm signing up for.
Be a husband, be a father, be a race car driver. To be the best, it takes everything that you have.
It's NASCAR Cup Series racing. Go bowling at the Glen. And our aerial coverage this afternoon, once again, brought to you by Geico. Now, on this facility, out front, it's still Cole Custer, Troy LaJoy, Austin Dillon, Rockefeller. They are still out in front of the 9, Chase Elliott, and the 5, Kyle Larson, but that is because they have not come to pit road. They're going to need a little bit less fuel than those other guys, Steve, but the time on pit road is going to push them back. They'll probably come back out in the 14th, 15th position.
Yeah, they're basically just using this clean air. I mean, these are the fastest laps that Cole Custer's run today just because the clean air. Same for LaJoy, Austin Dillon, Mike Rockefeller. Out of that traffic, they're having to join a little bit of clean space. And to your point, we'll have shorter pit stops. That's the strategy call for these 4.
The third caution came out earlier today, and it was for the 91 of Kimi Räikkönen. He went to the infield care center, and Parker caught up to him just moments ago.
Kimi Räikkönen released from the infield care center here. Kimi, you're involved in that instant out of bus stop. Was there anything you felt you could have done different there to avoid it?
Yeah, I wasn't very involved with it until I had a good line there, but
thought everybody seemed to come on the left. Unfortunately, I had no time to react, and yeah, the impact was small. Apart from the first impact, somebody hit the tire or the wheels directly, and the wheels spun, and something wrong with the wrist, but that's how it is.
I know it was shorter than you wanted, but did you enjoy yourself here in the NASCAR Cup Series?
Yeah, it was good fun, you know, and yeah, felt more confidence all the time, and you know, had some good battles, and yeah, it's a shame. I think the car felt like it had a lot of speed in there, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Will we see it come back?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's not good.
I'd love to see him come back.
World champion was running up as high as 9th.
I enjoyed having him here.
After they switched from rain tires to the racing slicks, and was looking very impressive until that incident in the bus stop. Still up front, it's Custer. He hasn't come to pit road yet. We'll have to do that, as will DeJoy, Dillon, and Rockenfeller. Now, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, those two can make it all the way to the end, as well as Michael McDowell. And Christopher Buescher in the 17, just in front of that 43 of Eric Jones.
He has been involved in the battle with Eric Jones for a while, but he's also been involved in this huge pack of traffic in the back half of the field. Right now, he's been able to break free. Chris Buescher has been able to break free of Eric Jones, and right now, he's in the 16th position.
Yeah, a lot of cars on so many different strategies, and there was some short pit stops that sort of cycled him back behind a few cars that are on older tires, taking advantage of those newer tires and the pace of the car, taking a few passes here, trying to drive. Did you see the 11 and the 4? Those guys kind of riding in the back of the pack earlier in the race, working their way through the field.
Oh, there goes Briscoe.
That looks like an innocent spin, maybe a little damage to the right front. Well, 14 car, let's take a look here. Heading on down into the braking zone. Him and Chastain getting pretty aggressive.
Oh, Ross got around too.
Car spin.
Chased each other through the mud, it looked like.
Yeah. Maybe there was a reason he was chasing through the mud. I don't know. Ross continues on as the 14.
14 of Briscoe. A good run early on. Now, Briscoe after the spin.
There you see the lead right there. At least between the 5th and 6th place car, Chase Elliott and Larson. Still waiting on the top 4 to come to pit road. At some point, Chase Elliott, though, seems like he's trying to put a little bit of the distance between him and the 5 car. Yeah, you really wonder right now, what is the strategy with these two guys right here? Look, you can't even see McDowell behind them in the picture. So clearly they're running hard. But you wonder if they need to be running this hard. Maybe save a little bit of tire. Maybe that would be in their best interest. See a good battle right here. Buescher underneath the 19 of Truex. Truex continues to struggle today.
15th and 16th for Buescher and Truex Jr. as they come out onto the front stretch. Truex Jr. out of the playoff picture. Ryan Blaney currently in based on points, Dave.
And Rick, it's just been a tough day for Martin Truex Jr. The good news is the motor is still operating well in this Toyota Camry. The bad news is the handling and the speed have not been there for Martin. He said he just had no grip anywhere the last time before he came down pit road. James Small promised he would give him a little bit of a fix. A little less of a complaint on the handling now, but way too far forward for Truex to go to make something out of this day. Currently running now way down the field, Rick, and it's just not been a good day for the guy that needs a win to get in the playoffs.
Cole Custer coming onto pit road now.
Right, this should be a fairly fast stop because you see the fuel there. The team goes over to put the tires on. So he pitted from the lead here, like you saw Austin Cindric do, but they're electing to do 4 tires. Cindric
72 degrees in Watkins, Glen.
14. We'll see what Cole Custer's able to rejoin after this pit stop.
So let's just see where this works for Cole Custer. Right? We know he's not going to take the lead. Chase Elliott's easily going to go by, but we see, all right, so we see Cindric right there. Cindric is the 13th place car. I'm thinking somewhere inside the top 20 for this 41 car. We see Buescher come by right here. So now he has fresher tires. He knows he's good on fuel. Tires haven't been a huge advantage. But look, I mean, Truex, we just talked about his day. He's running 16th, the 41 car. That was a nice strategy call by the 41. Run up front, run run those fast laps, come in, need less fuel, quick stop, and puts it back on the racetrack. I mean, inside the top 15, that's...
Oh, we got a span in the bus stop. The 51 cars around.
Cody Ware.
Cody Ware, he's going to try to rejoin here. Not impeded. He does that. He's got into the bus stop just a little bit too hard here. And there he goes. Great job sort of exploring any kind of issues there, getting turned around.
So now you see the 77 of Rockefeller to come to pit road. So to put it in perspective, Austin Dillon's running in the mid-30s on this restart. So when he pits and he reblends, if he's anywhere inside the, say, top 25, it's a huge gain. Inside the top 20 is even better, because I don't believe the three thinks they have a car that can drive up 10 spots. So, you know, we talk a lot about strategies to win, but everyone on pit road is grinding over how you can get your driver any positions possible. Marty.
Remember, they pitted on lap 46, so much further than everybody else. All the guys coming right now, lap 42. And your point's exactly right. If you're Justin Alexander, Steve, you kind of take this gamble, see what you can get out of it. But from lap 46, I mean, there's no way, Steve, right? I mean, there's no way they can make it. Couple cautions, though. They have no indication of coming to pit road so far for Austin Dillon. In fact, they just told him, you're the leader. He went, really? I am?
Yeah, so, you know, I'm a little surprised here because I don't believe there's any way they can make it. I mean, it would be a long way. I shouldn't say no way. It would shock me. But now the concern, the risk is a yellow. You know, now he kind of is going to go by everybody that stays out. But now, Justin Alexander, the crew chief of this car, might think the 20th on back pumps for tires and fuel anyway. So it'll be interesting to see Corey LaJoie right behind him. The guy of Chase Elliott running him down.
Yeah, 4 seconds back as Chase Elliott went down for that lead as well.
Is Dad posting a farewell to his favorite college freshman? No. He's switching his choice cashback category to gas. The road to college can be emotional, but also rewarding.
With the Bank of America customized cash rewards card, you just can't stop getting rewarded.
When you hear best-in-class range or best-in-class fuel economy, you may be thinking of really tiny cars, and you'd be really, really wrong. The Ram 1500, exceeding expectations again. No wonder more people are switching to Ram than ever before.
Right now, get 0% financing for 72 months, plus no monthly payments for 90 days on the 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn.
Dad, which one's your favorite?
I'm gonna go with Josh.
Yes. I'm sorry, but what? I was talking about the types of chicken.
Come on, you know I love all my chickens. He is a really sweet kid, though.
Did you just fist bump?
T-Mobile has 5G here, and we also cover you up here. Yep. Get free Wi-Fi now with streaming all flight long. We do coverage differently, with expanded high-speed data across the world. So you're connected here, and here, not yet. But down here, you're covered with a year of AAA roadside assistance on us. On the ground, in the air, overseas, T-Mobile has coverage beyond the expected.
In the future, everything will be powered by renewable energy, but it's not as easy as flipping a switch. It's a long road, requiring decades of time and trillions of dollars. But what if there was a better direction on the path to zero carbon emissions? An energy source that's available right now, that's affordable, plentiful, and environmentally friendly. There is, and it's propane. Get the facts at propane.com/now.
Saturday, Premier League mornings is on NBC and Peacock. Arsenal. Fulham. It's a London derby. Premier League mornings. Arsenal. Fulham on NBC and Peacock.
Can you spot the snake?
It's all the way up. All the way up with your foot.
Ryan is really struggling.
Don't look like a snake.
But me with my chicken arms could do it, and I feel like something is snaky here.
Snake in the Grass. All new Mondays after all.
NASCAR fans, don't let anything pass you by. The official app of NASCAR Tracks lets you stay up to date on the latest race and event information for all your favorite tracks. Search NASCAR Tracks in the App Store to download for free.
Watch him. Chase Elliott here trying to close in the back of the free car. Austin Dillon is going to be taking that position for the lead here soon, Jeff.
Chase Elliott has been running Austin down quite a bit of laps. Can take his time, does not have a lot of pressure behind him yet. Larson about 15 car lengths behind him. There's Larson in his rearview mirror. Right here, I think Chase Elliott will be able to turn, go right a little bit, now bring Austin Dillon into turn 1.
Right now, it's the 9 and the 5 that have separated themselves from the field. Of course, the 34 of McDowell, he is back there, but he is a good 8 seconds behind the top 2.
Chase Elliott exercising great restraint right now, not putting himself or that car in any sort of a bind to reclaim the lead. It's going to happen. The question is where and when. He has drawn up 2 car lengths off the back bumper of Austin Dillon for the point.
Not in any position, though, to make a pass, even in this gray zone right here. And you see Larson closing in. Larson gained a lot of time the last time by, now underneath the second behind this 9 car. Chase is going to try to look the inside here. Austin Dillon's going to let him go into the carousel. Also, the 5 car going to try to fall in there and take that position as well to fall into second. Right on the back bumper this time of Chase Elliott. Chase is going to look at the mirror. He's going to have his company. Yeah, Chase Elliott may have gotten a little bit too patient with Austin Dillon right there. It's allowed Larson to wind up, cut that deficit in half. This slide, Chase Elliott not being able to get around Dillon's capacity needed to.
Last 2 champions fighting now for the Watkins Glen win here. The 9 of Chase Elliott and the 5 of Kyle Larson. Larson closing the gap. He's less than 3/4 of a second behind race leader Chase Elliott.
18 laps to go, and it comes down to Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. They've been the talk of the racetrack all weekend long as the teams to beat. In that order, by the way. You talk to people in the garage, they'll say, man, that 9 and that 5, they're stout. Chase Elliott has a winning record here at Watkins Glen. Then again, Kyle Larson does as well. He won yesterday in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race.
Coming to 17 laps to go. This will be a good judge of speed and pace between the 2 vehicles. When we get to the back to start finish line, the last time by, Larson was a half a second faster than Chase Elliott. What kind of lap time will they run this time?
Yeah, how awesome is this? Being able to ride along with both drivers, see what they're doing, how they brake, how they downshift, where they do all those things. We got a Hendrick battle for this win.
This is a great shot right up top. You see on the left side, that's Chase Elliott working it to his right. That's his rear bumper. Looking back at Kyle Larson. On the bottom, Kyle Larson. And it's his roof camera looking out at Chase Elliott. So you see the work, and you also see the distance between the 2. Look at the work they put in and the precision required to run these laps.
It's amazing watching them come through this portion of the racetrack, Stevie, with the laser precision that they've been doing it all day. You're looking back from Chase Elliott. You're looking forward from Kyle Larson. As now we go over top and watch how they attack this racetrack and the lines that they use in which to attack, and they're headed to the inner loop.
Oh, what the fuck, Kyle? Are you fucking serious? That's gonna be a caution. Maybe not.
And now he'll spin the car back around. That blue flag alerting everybody in the racetrack that there is something askew, but he does get the car righted. And I know a lot of people wanted a caution flag right there, but he just doesn't get it. They don't get it. Kyle Larson, or I make that Kyle Busch breaking loose on his own in the straightaway between 1 and 2 with a little pop to the Armco on the inside.
Yeah, hit pretty hard. You wonder about that toe link, that rear suspension piece, and if it would survive. Take another look at it as you define. Maybe a little moisture, or maybe just got loose. But watch this hit. That's a pretty solid hit. That could bend the suspension components. We'll have to just see as the 18 rejoins how it goes. Guys, Kyle Larson ran into him last night. We congratulate him on his win in the Xfinity Series, and he had something great to say. He said, when I was chasing William Byron and Ty Gibbs, I had a judge in front of me. I didn't overdrive a corner all day. And he said, all of a sudden, those 2 wrecked, and I was the leader. I went into turn 1 for the first time. I don't know where I left. He said, I didn't have a mark. I had been chasing people. That comes to mind as we ride with Kyle Larson, because that's what he's doing again, right? He is judging everything off from Chase Elliott. He kind of has a rabbit to follow. Now, listen, he closed out the Xfinity Series race. I think he was being a little humble about his talent. But it was interesting that it was that much different for him the first time leading that race. Marty.
You're going to love this Hendrick Motorsports head-to-head battle for the win here at Watkins Glen. Kyle Larson trying to make his way through some black traffic. Interestingly, you see right in front of Chase Elliott is Ross Chastain. He said on the radio a moment ago he could see that he was catching the one. He said, talk to that one. Make him let me by if you can. But I love this clear advisory. You can see Chase Elliott watching Kyle Larson. Meanwhile, behind the wheel, Kyle Larson only focused ahead. Only one misstep today for the 9 team. Chase Elliott said it was on him. He ran too hard early in the run. He's going to have to hold on to keep his teammate behind him these final 15 laps, Parker.
Right, Marty. If Kyle Larson is to beat Chase Elliott, you've been seeing how he's been catching times. Now just lost a bit of time there as they were going through those different corners of traffic. But he was watching him down in the bus stop. I had an interesting conversation with some of the HMS teammates, and they said after qualifying, they were looking at the data, and Chase Elliott had about 2/10 on all of them through that section right there in the bus stop. But the closest of all the drivers there with him was this 5-car, Kyle Larson, who now the team just came on the radio and said he was matching him in the bus stop, and all he had to do was just correct his entry into 7. Otherwise, he's matching the 9 toe-to-toe. We'll see if he can run him down and try and get by him for this win.
During those updates, we saw the 7 of Corey LaJoie come to pit road. He took gas only. So we'll see where that puts him back in the running order. Cindric, it's been a little bit of a quiet day out of Cindric. There's a couple times he popped up. He's currently running in the 11th position. Right behind him, Eric Jones. This 43 car continues to impress me, Rick. Every time we see him, he's getting more out of this equipment than what I thought I have seen out of it. And then Harvick, 2 race wins in a row. He's feeling pretty good right there behind him. What a great view for the tool on board this 4-car with this in-car camera. This just really shows you the 2 cars in front of them and the work they're putting in.
When we look at the lap times of the 2 leaders, though, last couple of laps, Chase Elliott a half a second faster than Larson. The last 3 laps, a half a second faster. Driving away back to the 2.
Kyle Busch has a broken tire on a course.
Watching this battle coming into turn 2, the battle we're describing just outside of the top 10 between Eric Jones and Kevin Harvick. Of course, you're on board with Harvick right there, trying to track down Eric Jones. That's been a good battle that's been developing for about the last 5 or 6 laps. He has just left the S's and is headed to the bus stop.
Harvick was way in the back early in this race when the track was wet. Not really confident in the car, and the team worked hard, the driver worked hard to put themselves in this position following Cindric. Eric Jones right there around the carousel. Could be another good solid finish for this 4-car. Yeah, look at Eric Jones. Steve said it just continued to impress, doing a nice job putting pressure on Austin Cindric. You know how good of a road racer Austin Cindric is. I'd say a good day, although Kevin Harvick, we've seen him 2 wins in a row. Look at that move by Eric Jones, an aggressive move. Kevin Harvick should be able to take advantage of this as well.
Eric Jones taking 12th away from Cindric, and Harvick also looks to the inside of Cindric. He wants a position also. And the 43 is going to lead them into turn number 1. Harvick follows him, and he takes that spot away from Austin.
Oh, the chase has got around the 1 right there. Sorry, Bagley, I was going to mention the 3 of Austin Dillon. I had talked about that strategy. We saw him run up front for a long, long time. He just came down. He's got some fresh tires and some fuel. I think he's going to cycle inside the mid to late 20s. So we'll just have to see if this strategy works out. So he's in front of Harrison Burton. Harrison's running 27th. We talk about strategy calls. Restarted 32nd, blended 27th. I don't know if I'd call that a huge win. But now he has the freshest tires. If the yellow does come out, he'll feel confident to stay on the racetrack. Now he's thinking, it was so much more fun when I was leading up front there, all by myself.
The gap between 1 and 2 still growing. 2 seconds separating Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. Listen in to Chase Elliott's audio.
You're good, bud. 4 laps better than the 5. Just take care of your stuff. If you get back, the fuel runs fine, but don't let them get close to you.
Oh, Joey handed to the tire barrier. That will be a caution. Caution is out with 12 laps to go. Oh, he's got a lot of damage.
Right rear quarter damage. spoiler looks okay, but the top of the quarter is pushed in, maybe rubbing the tire. No smoke yet.
So a restart, Steve.
Well, first the decision is who pits and who doesn't. All the leaders, they're kind of committed. Let's take a look at what happened in this 15. Oh, he just gets loose.
Shit's getting interesting
he
here.
goes to the inside of the 19 to make the pass. Just loses the back of the car. In the old car, we would have talked about wheel hop into that tire barrier. You see the space behind the tire barrier. That's on purpose to allow that to slide. So I think he just locks the rear tires or just gets loose. There's no road tire. I didn't see a tire slide. Just too much speed. Misjudged the entry. Turned down in there. Got loose. Truex has thankfully slid in front of him. This is going to get your attention right here. If you're trying to save some points on board with Truex, look to your
Nope.
right. There you
I gotta
go.
pee.
You know, it's going to be interesting.
Go right, you're clear. Keep
I
digging
don't know
in.
what Joey Hand has to say about that. Hopefully, I have a chance to talk to him, or maybe we'll hear on the radio. But very talented road racer. That was a pretty big misjudgment on speed. So I don't know if he had an issue with his race car, but I mean, he was 5-10 miles an hour faster than the 19.
Similar to what we saw out of Kyle Larson when he slammed into
Yeah, it's
Dillon.
crazy. So back to your point about the restart. So Elliott, Larson, Dow, Allmendinger. I'm actually excited to see how fast Allmendinger can run because he put some really good lap times down. So can he compete with those two Hendrick cars? But the real decision is, can you afford to come to pit road or not? We know the leaders won't, but somebody mid-pack or towards the back is going to put some fuel on to make sure you're good for a green-white checker, put some fresh tires in it. So we'll have to just see if and who decides to pit.
Ross Chastain is going to get the free pass. He was just passed by Chase Elliott to go a lap down, so he was the highest scored lap down car.
Yeah, and just a quick update. We saw Kyle Busch spin around and hit that arm code. They had to come to pit road, change tires, small repairs. I couldn't see what exactly they changed, but he is a lap down as well. Will not be the free pass this time. So if you're a Kyle Busch fan, currently 34th, one lap down.
Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, they have been fighting for the last few laps for the lead. Elliott has it and had been putting a little distance between himself and his teammate. McDowell running in the third spot, Allmendinger fourth, Reddick is fifth. Remember, McDowell is in a position if he were to win this race. We have seen it where
Maybe an Indy road course finish? Probably not.
If McDowell's able to win this race, that would be 16 different winners. And
They fixed Kyle Busch's tire rod. Not that it matters now.
drivers like Ryan Blaney and Mark Truex Jr.
So on board with Truex, remember, he came in at 26-point gap. He's currently 4 spots in front of Blaney. With a car that he has not liked all weekend long. The Toyotas have not been great. There was some engine concern. They're all still running. So the real question now, though, is will it take a win or will it take points? Truex has never won on the super speedway. Blaney won there just last summer, so he has to feel like he needs a win. But if it comes down to points, every point's going to matter. So now with 10 to go, Blaney is running 18, Truex 14. If Truex pits, does Blaney chase him? If Truex stays out, does Blaney decide to pit to get on new tires? And regardless of what they do, think about the restarts we saw at Indianapolis at that road course. I don't think it'll be quite 5 wide here at Watkins Glen, but turn 1 is going to get busy. So the first of the decision time is, do you pit? Yeah, not shocking that the front 10 or 15 don't pit, but someone I think is going to think tires matter. The road is over. They're just showing his hand. No, we're just messing with each other. Nobody's pitted. We see Truex go by. So here you go. The guys at the back of the field, including William Byron, they're going to pull some of the guys at the back on the pit road, but the 2 guys, Blaney and Truex, did stay on the racetrack.
So a few takers on pit road, but they are far in the back. It will be a battle between Elliott and Larson when we return.
Pain used to keep me from what I love most. Not anymore. Blue Emu gave me my horsepower back. It's the powerful relief my joints need.
Blue Emu. It works fast and you won't stink.
We're no etiquette experts, but biting into your McDonald's crispy chicken sandwich and ending up with a whole pickle slice dangling from your mouth isn't impolite. It's human.
It's really hard to win
win these races, the best in the world out there competing. Yeah. When you get it done, it's a hell of a feeling. When you grew up a race car driver, you dream of getting to race at Daytona.
This is the biggest race of the season because it determines who will make the playoffs.
Daytona falls at such a crucial time in our playoffs, and we go to that race knowing that anybody can win.
We're in a regular season there with a lot of pressure, obviously, for some people trying to get into the playoffs. It's just a totally different atmosphere and intensity than when they go there for the Daytona 500.
Final race of the regular season, and it will be on NBC for the Cup race. Countdown to Green and Xfinity Series racing on USA on Friday night. So Friday, Saturday nights matchup. Xfinity Series Friday on USA. Cup Series on NBC and Peacock. All right, Steve, not locked into the playoffs, but they have won at Daytona. Imagine if it comes down to this and all of these drivers have an opportunity to make the playoffs.
So the conversation in February, the first time we went to Daytona, is don't come back to Daytona needing a win or scared that if someone wins, it eliminates you for this reason. All of these names have won there before. They could win again. I mean, Austin Cindric proved it, right? He broke through as a rookie with Daytona 500, so anything can happen. But how about this? Anything can happen here.
Well, Steve, look who's up front. You've got McDowell. He's not locked into the playoffs. You've got a little further back, Buscher, not locked into the playoffs as well. Those two up front and close and good on road courses.
So we saw yesterday that if you think someone's going to win the race, just wait. You've got to run every lap in every corner. We saw the two fastest cars take each other out.
Side by side.
Green flag. 9 laps to go.
Larson on the inside. Chase Elliott on the outside. Fans on their feet here at Watkins Glen. They fan out as they go to turn number 1. McDowell, a little contact from running behind.
Oh, God.
Smoke as they drive up the racetrack, and they're 4 wide coming out of turn number 1, and it's Chase Elliott out in front of Larson.
Elliott will grab the lead. Larson will follow him through into the number 2 position. But here comes A.J. Allmendinger. He'll go to third, and Joey Logano banging quarter panels and wrestling his way into the 4th spot as they race up the backstretch.
A.J. Allmendinger, that's the guy that's dangerous right here for these two leaders. Larson following the 9 car. Look at those cars lift off the ground over the curbs. I think Chase Elliott's got a lot left in the tank in his 9 car. We're going to see some incredible laps out of him here with 8 to go.
I think Kyle Larson knows that as well. I think Kyle's got to push exceptionally hard right here if he's going to have a shot. We saw Chase Elliott driving away from Kyle Larson on older tires. So right now, push as hard as you can.
Chase Elliott now with a 2-car length advantage over the 5 of Larson. Larson still trying to track him down, but he has time. 8 laps remaining here at the Glen. Elliott in front, Larson running second. Allmendinger, a full-time Xfinity Series driver, in the 3rd spot.
Chase Elliott running for his life right now. He's trying to keep Kyle Larson and A.J. Allmendinger both behind him. So far, so good for Elliott. He's been able to leg it out over Larson by about 5, and then it's another 2nd and a 3rd.
You got to spin. You got to spin.
Oh, that's probably going to be a caution.
In between 6 and 7, the 27 car is going to probably get stuck in this.
Yep, that'll be a caution.
There will be a caution. He just cannot get out without assistance. The yellow is out.
Lawrence Hesselman is stuck in the gravel pit. Caution is out. Another restart.
This is going to be fun.
A single car incident. Came in here by himself. Lost the car. Look how deep it's dug itself into the sand pit. Sand pit's there to slow the car down so it doesn't impact the wall on the other side of it. The negative is, once you get in them, you're stuck.
So this will take a little while to get the 27 out of that sand or gravel pit. Jeff, right in front of you.
Yeah, you can see him just overshot the corner and just never could regain control of the car, and now he just lost the ride right into the gravel pit.
2-time Euro Series champion. Second position is now the track crew has gotten to him. We'll see how long it takes for them to pull him out, but now under 7 laps to go with this field going by the start-finish line. We're working as quickly as they can. While we've got a minute, let's check in with the Peacock Pit Bot, and it's DJ and KP. Guys, what are you thinking about the finish of this one?
Listen, I have no idea. The most dangerous thing in cup racing is restarts, okay? And we're giving these guys additional opportunities to take shots at Larson and at Chase. Have you seen anybody out of that pack that you think can?
I don't think A.J. Allmendinger has the car to keep up pace-wise, but this restart, he knows if he gets in front, then he's going to be extremely hard to pass. And so I look for A.J. to maybe take an extra chance here, trying to get down into turn one and seeing what he can make happen. And then, as you point out, that's the most dangerous thing, is someone trying to make it happen, and then all of a sudden, everything you've worked for is gone.
We've seen it all year long. Turn one in Indy, turn one everywhere we go. We saw him fan out there. We saw a lot of blocking. We didn't see a lot of contact. But then you have these incidents like this. This is a gravel trap, okay? Yeah. I thought they took all of them away from Watkins, but this is a gravel trap that takes a couple extra laps. We know a couple of guys are good on fuel. Out of this pack, when you look at the day that Michael McDowell has, it's been a phenomenal day.
Yeah, Logano's had a great day. You look at Reddick up in there inside. Christopher Bale coming from the rear with that. Eric Jones up inside the top 10, and Chris Buescher there. So a lot of good days for a lot of people, Parker.
Right, DJ, and Kyle Larson was hounding Chase Elliott there. It seems like they're so evenly matched. Catch up Cliff Daniels, Kyle Larson's crew chief. So where do you think Kyle needs to find a little something to beat the 9?
Yeah, it's going to be tough for sure. Our HitterCars.com Chevy team, we've executed a great race. I think we've got a good car. You know, the tough part is the 9 car is great too. And Chase has done a good job of executing his race. I think they're going to race each other really hard, really clean for the end. I hope we've got a little something left in the tank. It'll be interesting to see, you know, where we can get it. I don't know if it'll be in the bus stop or if it'll be a good 6 to 7 exchange. But I know Kyle, and I know he's been sizing them up the last few laps. So I could be many to go when we take the green. So proud of our team. And proud of everybody at Hitters Motorsports. Thanks to all the guys back in the shop for giving us, you know, really fast cars. And hopefully we get to keep up there for the end, and one of us needs a green home.
Well, they feel like they may be able to get it done, Dave.
And Alan Gustafson just getting a little radio transmission here. Remember, these crew chiefs are still communicating with their driver as they need to before they can chit-chat with us for just a second. And we'll ask you first, Alan, did you like what you saw in the last restart, the lane choice? You want him to go there again?
I mean, it's up to him. We retain the lead. I don't really know what's going on inside the car, you know, in the corner and all the dynamics going on there. So, yeah, I mean, we retain the lead. That's obviously the objective. So we just did that this time and how many more it takes.
Correct. And we could get to overtime. Does this caution, did you need it? You didn't need it to get to the end, did you? But you need it for overtime? No. All right. This man's getting ready to go. He'll lead it to green.
He did not want to talk.
Worked next to Allen for a long time, and that's game face right there. And when he gets in these moments, what makes him so great is that he's very cordial. He spoke to Dave, but you can tell he could only give us like 10% of his brain to answer those questions because the other 90% are completely engaged in this race and his driver Chase Elliott.
I want to take a look at the Toyota driver update. Christopher Bell currently running in the 8th position right now. He's been as 3rd in this race.
You know, when we talk about Toyotas, there was a lot made about some of their lack of speed at the road courses, but then this morning, big fear when it came to the power plants. They're all currently still on the racetrack running while Kyle Busch is out now with an issue because of his accident. You know, Toyota's still all making power. So, you know, about 6 hours ago, I think it was more concerning for them, but here they're all still on the racetrack.
Steve, let's go back 10 years. Could we have a finish like what we saw back in 2012? It was the 18 of Kyle Busch just in front of the 2 of Brad Keselowski, the 9 of Marcus Ambrose, and then we learned there was some fluid on the racetrack.
Yeah, fluid on the racetrack. No big surprise that Keselowski and Kyle Busch both squeezed through the guesses, and then here, this is the move, right? The 9 squeezed through the final quarter. It was one of the best final laps we've seen anywhere in any sort of racing. But here it was great. You talk about international drivers. Ambrose raised that checker flag. And there's Brad right here in the 6th. This RFK group, you know, we talk a lot about Buescher. His road course is impressive running 10th. Brad having a real solid day in 17th. I think Brad doing over there, and he's obviously a remarkable race car driver. He's learning kind of to be a race car driver. And
that was some good pizza. You got pizza?
About Chris Buescher, how good he thinks Chris Buescher is. So I can't imagine what takes his days. One of these days, I'm going to ask him that. I'm going to find some time where he can sit down and just be like, hey, what didn't you expect? What did you expect? What's a day in the life of Brad Keselowski now versus when you were just a race car driver?
Jaden!
Where the 19 and the 12 were. You remember they were side by side?
Jaden!
Yeah, exactly. They were side by side again. As we're getting ready for the restart, it'll be 5 laps to go. You can hear the crowd. They are ready for the final 5 laps here at the Glen. Chase Elliott will be on the outside.
Sounds like there's gunfire, not fucking... Those screams don't sound like cheers. Those sound like fucking someone shooting.
Simulator, all that. I don't care. The only way you learn how to close out
Is Kyle Busch out? He's not out. He's just not going to win. He's a lap down, 33rd.
I mean, they're the last 2 chances in the series. This is going to be just an absolute battle. It's going to be awesome.
All 5 drivers in the top 5 are road course winners. They've got 15 combined wins amongst the 5 of them.
Gray flag.
And back up through the gears we go. Elliott on the outside. Larson on the inside. They're side by side still. And Larson surging ahead now as they get into one. He outbreaks him.
Oh!
The track as they both slide up the door for A.J. Allmendinger.
Kyle Larson used up Chase Elliott coming into turn number 1. Is going to earn him the lead before he gets to turn number 2. But A.J. Allmendinger is going to compound this whole matter. Digger goes to second. Elliott falls to third and faces an immediate threat from Joey Logano. And then yellow car to the inside coming off the end of the backstretch.
Joey on the outside, the braking zone. Both these guys going to push it deep into this corner. Still side by side. That's going to cost them both the position. Here comes the 8 of Reddick. Man, it's been a terrible half lap for Chase Elliott.
And Chase Elliott needed to get by Joey Logano right there. Did not do it. Actually lost maybe 2 positions. That wind is driving away from him. Now we've got a great battle. A.J. Allmendinger trying to run Kyle Larson down.
A.J. Allmendinger about a car length. Now car length.
I'd love to see A.J. get past him.
Larson as they come through 7, looking at 4 laps to go. A great battle continuing back a little further. Suarez trying to get by the 9. And Elliott holding him off. So now into turn 1. The 5 of Larson. 2 car lengths back is A.J. Allmendinger.
Meanwhile, their back and quarter panels further back up front. It's all about A.J. Allmendinger. Does he have enough to get to the back bumper of Kyle Larson and take this win this afternoon at Watkins Glen? He's got work to do. He's got 4 car lengths of real estate to make up before he gets to the back bumper, and then he's got to get around that back bumper and take the lead.
AJ can do it. He's going to have to really pick this car up, put it on his back, and make it happen. He's closing the gap a little bit here to the bus stop. Kyle Larson cannot be conservative in those positions. They go to the carousel, the 16th.
Here comes AJ. AJ's really catching him now.
You're exactly right, Junior. You cannot get conservative because A.J. Allmendinger will not be. He's going to be trying to outbreak you into 6, into 7. He's going to try to outbreak you into 1. All those passing zones. So you see right here, turn 7, it's so important for Larson to hit this because it leads to turn 1. It's a great opportunity to pass.
Larson looking for the weekend sweep. He won the Xfinity Series race yesterday. Now trying to win the Cup race. Right behind him, A.J. Allmendinger, a full-time Xfinity Series driver. Remember, if he wins this race, it doesn't have any implications on the playoff in the Cup Series.
Less than 3 laps to go. They've cleared 1 and now continue downhill into turn 2. The separation has stabilized, at least at this end of the racetrack, where Allmendinger's not able to make up the ground like he does in other parts of the track. It's 4 car lengths, maybe even 5, as Larson legs it out, coming out of turn 4 and headed to the bus stop.
Look at the focus in the eyes of Larson. One of the most technical parts of the racetrack. Tries to get through here as good as possible. Again, AJ closes. And then down into the carousel, right at the limit of grip. Trying to put the throttle down here, back to a shift.
And we saw back there in the inner loop, that's where A.J. Allmendinger has an advantage. Kyle Larson appears to have an advantage here in 6. They both get into the corner equally. Larson, a little bit of a wiggle right there, but see, he drives away just a little bit, heading to turn 7. Just a little bit more of a gap, and then the exit of turn 7 appears to be an advantage for Larson as well.
Yesterday, Kyle Larson got
Nope, AJ fucks Larson. That'd be for a different website.
He had to hold off the same driver, A.J. Allmendinger, yesterday. He was able to do it today. The same task awaits. 2 to go at the Glen. Here they come now back into turn 2. Less than 2 laps remain in this one at the Glen. You got Kyle
I don't think AJ's going to catch him.
Allmendinger. Here's AJ trying to do the best he can, trying to close back down on Larson. Separation coming to the back straightaway. The same as been ever since the restart. 4 car lengths.
Watch the eyes of Larson. Every corner exit, he looks up to see if the 16 is still there. He feels the pressure. He knows. He respects how good AJ is. Watch when he comes around this carousel. Once he finishes corner exit, he's going to peek up there and see where that 16 car is.
Yeah, it's just a gauge for him, right? He's going to look in that mirror. There he is right there. Okay, what's my space? How is my lap? He did not do that until he had an area where...
All right, coming to the white flag.
He just needed to check to see how his lap was. What he saw he liked because he's driving away from Allmendinger.
The reigning champion looking for a little momentum before they get to the playoffs. It's been all the way since...
And white flag is in the air one more time around.
When he found victory lane, 1 lap to go, presented by Glen Bay. And now 3 car lengths separate the top 2. AJ Allmendinger trying to find anything in that car to catch the 5.
Oh, he's going to have divine intervention to win this race because Kyle Larson is gone. Here he comes for the final time through turn 2. Through turn 3.
Just run through the corner and wreck him.
Turn number 4. It's all Kyle Larson trying to score the double dip as he races his way for the final time of the back straightaway at the Glen.
Best Chase Elliott could do was work his way back up to 4th position after Kyle Larson ran him wide on turn 1 in the final restart. An aggressive move, but has put him in position to win this race, comfortably ahead of the 16 car of AJ Allmendinger. Only a few corners remain for the 5 car and checker flag.
Not the wins from Kyle Larson that we saw last year, but now getting momentum going into the playoffs. Larson becoming more dangerous at the time of the year when it matters. Playoffs looming.
And Kyle Larson is going to do it.
He won here a year ago, and he looks to go back-to-back at the Glen.
Kyle Larson wins at Watkins Glen.
Larson wins again at the Glen.
Back-to-back years.
Good job today, guys. Great job, man. Really proud of you. Great job, Steve. Good work, fellas. Great job.
Allmendinger coming home second. Logano third. Chase Elliott fourth. Daniel Suarez a top 5 finish. Showing a little respect there. AJ Allmendinger pulling up beside the 5 of Larson.
Some good racing there.
Career wins for Kyle Larson. And that breaks, by the way, winless streak that Kyle Larson had ever experienced since joining Hendrick Motorsports. What a restart.
Yeah, watch Kyle Larson drives in the corner.
I thought it was going to be a wreck.
Went up the racetrack, moved Chase Elliott out of the way. Just an aggressive move. I don't think that was intentional, but Chase Elliott isn't going to care. Kyle Larson just cooked it down in there, could not control his car, and ran Kyle Larson up. Ran Chase Elliott up. See right here, right front's just locked up. Now the car's not turning. And now he's got Chase Elliott moved out of the groove.
Yeah, once that right front locks up, you lose front grip. You're no longer going to be able to make the bottom of the corner. Everybody's going into this corner as hard as possible. Remember, you got AJ behind you. He is absolutely going to try to outbreak the 5 car into the corner. So Larson knew he had to go into this corner further than he had all day long. And that's the risk that you take. Everybody escapes unharmed, but it is going to be an intense situation between these teammates today and going forward.
Start-finish line. Kyle Larson will mark to HendrickCars.com number 5. And he will sweep the weekend. Xfinity Series race yesterday, and now the Cup Series race. Checkered flag moment brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. What a weekend the fans have been able to enjoy here. Remember, this race started on the wet after the rain came through and ends on the dry, and it was a aggressive turn 1 on the restart that got Larson up front.
Ricky only ran the final 5 laps of the race, but boy, it's going to be all about that final restart with his teammate, Chase Elliott. Been a long time since you guys got to victory lane, but tell me about the move to pass your teammate Chase Elliott. We did see the right front locked up going into turn one.
Yeah, and I knew that was kind of my only opportunity. I'm not proud of it, but you being in the inside lane, the right lane, and you being a leader choosing the left lane, it's definitely, you know, wins out. But when it gets late in the race, it's definitely risky. And like I said, I knew that was my only opportunity to get by him. So, you know, I felt like our cars were pretty equal today, and had a lot of fun after the green flag cycle trying to chase him down and kind of burnt my stuff up a little bit. But the restarts, you know, kept me in it and kept our team in it. So proud of our guys. Good to get another win here at Watkins Glen. Get some more bonus points low in the playoffs, which is we haven't had many of those this year. So you know, hopefully this will build on some momentum and we can keep cracking some more points.
If the shoe was on the other foot, would you want to have a conversation with your teammate if that move happened?
I'm sure, yeah, we would ultimately have a conversation. We have a competition meeting tomorrow, and yeah, I mean, I think if I was in his shoes, I would understand the risk that I'm taking choosing left lane also. So again, like I said, I'm not proud of it, but it's for what I felt like I had to do to get the win.
Did you learn something on the restart before that you said I'm gonna try and take advantage of it on this final one?
Well, yeah, I mean, all the restarts I was in the right lane yesterday with William, I always got myself in a bad spot where, you know, my angle was pinched off and we'd always make contact and I'd end up, you know, sideways and get passed by people. So I knew everybody's aggression was going to be higher as each restart went on, and I didn't want to put myself in that position again to get, you know, passed by AJ or Joey, who were really aggressive behind me. So yeah, it's just part of racing. It's road courses, especially this year, it seems like. So, you know, again, not proud of it, but we did what we had to do.
Larson gets the win here at Watkins Glen Day, but I'm sure his teammate Chase Elliott's not going to be very happy about it.
Well, he ends up finishing fourth. Kyle says that he's not happy about the way it happened. He also said if he was in your shoes, he would have understood the risk of restarting on the outside there. That was the question that I had for you. Did you consider that risk on the final restart?
Just a huge congratulations to Kyle and everybody on the 5 team. Congratulations everybody at Hendrick Motorsports for getting another win, and appreciate Kelly Blue Book for being on our car this weekend.
He says this will be discussed, obviously, in competition meetings and between the two of you. What would you like to say to him?
Congratulations. They did a great job. Seriously, they deserve it, and looking forward to going to and trying to get our team.
One of your first conversations was with Mr. Hendrick. Was he able to console you at all on the loss today?
Just congratulate him. Like I said, always good to see HMS win. The boss deserves you know, all the wins and all the great things that go on with this company. So just proud of that, and looking forward to next week.
Chase is pissed. Chase is fucking pissed. He is pissed, bro. Damn.
We'll see the 5. You see, we saw earlier when Rick Hendrick, Jeff Gordon there, and now talking with Alan Gustafson. Kyle Larson will once again head to Roth Mortgage Victory Lane.
What you saw right there.
Ow. Yeah, Chase.
But we saw Jeff Gordon, Rick Hendrick, we'll have some conversation, but they got too much momentum as a company. There's no reason to air it over the radio. They can talk in private tomorrow, maybe later today.
And Steve, that's the problem with having 2 great cars, 2 great race cars.
But all right, y'all, I'm going to end this right here. I'll be live for both races next week. The Xfinity race is at 7:30 on Friday night, so I'll be live at 7:15 for that. And the Cup race is at 7 on Saturday night, so I'll be live at 6:45 for that. So I want to thank everybody for watching.